Yes, people, welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, brought to you by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. I'm not joined by either of my fellow co-hosts, Stro or JV, but love to my brothers. But I have two special guests, two very, very special guests. So the first guy I'm going to introduce, you can catch him with me on YouTube. You can catch him on his own channel. He's at 2K subscribers now in a short space of time. You'll see him on Saeed TV also, my brother. Man like Nuruddin is in the building. What are you saying, Nuruddin? You good first and foremost?
Love.
Yeah, man. Love that, man. Love everything good?
Yeah, man.
Enjoying the Euros?
Loving the Euros.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Is it coming home?
Nah.
It's not coming.
It's coming home somewhere to Europe, but, Brexit and all that, innit?
So it's not coming home, is what
Social
you're saying?
distancing, innit?
It's not coming home.
Distancing.
All right. Okay. And welcoming the second, but very special guest, a long-time friend of mine, used to manage the football team I played for, making his debut on the show as well. Man like Danny B is in the building. Danny, how you doing? You good?
I'm very good, thank you. Good evening.
Yeah, man. Good evening, man. Love that. So yeah, two very special guests. So we're here till 9 p.m. to discuss all things Euro. We will be bringing you live commentary of the Belgium game, like first half as well. But just before we came on air, Nuruddin notified me about some breaking news regarding the England squad. So Nuruddin, I'll let you take that away.
So breaking news, Euro 2020, England's Ben Chilwell and Mason Mount to self-isolate after Gilmour COVID test. So apparently they were talking to him, innit? The pair was seen to be interacting with Chelsea teammate Gilmour on Friday night's draw with Scotland at Wembley. And Gilmour has since tested positive. The entire England squad had lateral flow tests on Monday afternoon and we're all giving negative. But this is apparently UEFA protocol. So the pair will be kept away from the rest of the England players and the wider support team pending further discussions with PHE. Read the statement. We will continue to follow all COVID protocols and the UEFA testing regime while remaining in close contact with the PHE and the other people who are enforcing the protocols.
Public Health England.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Chilwell and Mount. So it would have been interesting. I don't know if Mount is obviously one of Southgate's favorites, clearly. So he probably would have played against the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Chilwell probably not. So that's because he wasn't even in the squad for the first game. He wasn't on the bench, Chilwell. I know he was in the squad the second time round, but the first time round he wasn't in the squad, and there was no. Did Southgate give a reason as to why he wasn't in the squad the first time round?
No, well, there's a couple of lads. Sancho wasn't in the squad.
Yeah, Sancho. I don't get that.
Yeah, so there's a couple of lads that weren't in the squad. I don't know if it was because obviously he started with a right back and left back in Trippier. He had Shaw on the bench, I think. So,
which is wild.
Yeah, let's not get into that just yet. Let's put a pin in that. Let's not quite shoot the gun too early. And with Sancho, I think it's the maddest thing out of them all, to be honest, not having him in the matchday squad.
It's crazy.
Most amount of, sort of goal interactions, be it a goal or an assist in top flight league. We don't have a player like that in the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, what has Chilwell done wrong, by the way? Does anyone...
Gareth Southgate.
I mean, you've got a Champions League winning left back who, let's be honest, had an amazing game against City.
Yeah, he's a good left back.
He's a quality, solid left back.
Yeah, I agree. But that is just typical Southgate playing a right back at left back when you have Shaw, Chilwell, and Saka, who are all capable left backs. Pick one.
Yes, Kieran Trippier did well in the Spanish league, but he's on the right hand side.
Yeah,
he's a right wing back, not on the left hand side. I mean, if everyone's seen the game, some people have that ability to to sort of be a right-footed left back,
yes,
or a left-footed right back.
So I get what you're saying.
I can see the game.
Like Dennis Irwin, legend.
Legend.
That's Dennis Irwin.
Brilliant example. But Kieran Trippier's never struck me as that because he always wants to bring it onto that right. He's never confident in sort of bringing the ball out on his left foot. You need that first foot to get that.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why Gareth Southgate chose that, because both Chilwell and Shaw, they've been two very much attacking-minded fullbacks for their clubs this season. And especially Chilwell, because Chilwell plays in the back three, and he's been totally like a wing back. So the idea of defending that much is not been, and he wanted two players to be positionally sound. And that's why he went with Trippier, because Trippier, it's been Simeone. I said it before, bro. Man's been under Simeone, and if you can be any attacking fullback, whatever position, you get Simeone. Simeone drills defensive
Yes.
techniques into
He's
you in terms
defensive,
of not
yes.
technique but defensive mindset into you.
Yeah.
And he's in terms of movement, in terms of space, in terms of like not just going gun ho. So I mean, if you watch that game against Croatia, the fullbacks didn't really go too hard across the halfway line. Even when England like centre halves were quite up, they were just keeping within inside. So it was
safe.
more of a positional sense of Trippier because he knows Luke Shaw and Chidwell are suspect when it comes to losing their positions in terms of because they're too attack-minded fullbacks.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that, but Croatia offered nothing going forward in that game. They offered very little. Yes, their midfield's good. Yeah, I know it's the first game, but surely, all right, you want them to be defensively solid in the first half. But then when you see what Croatia are offering up, you go, all right, we can attack these.
That's something you do on the pitch, though, wouldn't you, as a player?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, it's on the players as well.
Change things up. You know what I mean? If he sees how the pattern of play goes, Croatia aren't as gung-go as he thought they might be. So it's not really the manager to make such a drastic decision as, changing the left back to an attacking left back. It's more about the players to then see, hang on, I've got 10 or 15 yards here I can attack. And that might commit someone. And that might create space for my team. You know what I mean? So it's about the players as well. Reading the situation, saying how can we get the most out of where we are right now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there might not be lung busting.
I'm not saying lung busting, but I'm saying like they were there to be beaten. I'm watching Croatia and they had Perisic. It was Perisic, Rebic. Can't remember the other wide player they had, but Croatia, I think they had, the one shot on target, which was the long shot from. So if a team's having one, and it's not like they looked threatening. At no point in that game did I think Croatia were going to score. England looked a little bit more likely just because they had more in those areas with Sterling. Even though Kane wasn't good, Foden, you got Mount, so you got 4 players there, and then they ended up bringing on players as well. So that's how I look at it. Like England are very pragmatic. Very pragmatic. It's like watching Manchester United. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I was watching it and I'm like, how do you have all this attacking quality, whether it's in the first 11 or it's on the bench, and you don't lose it? Because I seen a tweet from someone and he said, a team leaving out Jadon Sancho from its attack must be very good in attack to leave him out for both games, which is crazy. To me, he should start. How he's not starting, I don't know. Like, Southgate was talking about inexperience. I'm like, he's played in the Champions League before. He's played in the Champions League this season. He's playing for Dortmund, but you've got Declan Rice
and Phillips, who have not been anywhere near Europe.
This is what I'm so that's where it doesn't add up. Foden, who's just broken onto the scene, but I think he only started quality player, by the way. Foden started 15 league games. So you're leaving out a Sancho, Grealish, who was all Villa had. So how do you see the
Grealish is what, 24, 25? He's
like
young. Do you know what I mean? He's still in a good age, but he's not like 22, 23 anymore.
Play him. How Grealish doesn't get in the 11, I don't know.
He's played 150, 200 games in his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been, Villa have been hanging their hat on him for about 3 seasons. You go do something for us.
Give the ball to Grealish.
Now, if I've got to kind of put it into perspective, the uproar about Grealish, I don't know. I'm kind of tapering off it a little bit because I think it's been a bit too much of it. Now Mason's Mount's out.
Yeah,
we can really put a case forward to Grealish.
Okay.
But I'd rather talk about, rather than just getting Grealish in, why isn't he playing Grealish or why isn't he playing Sancho? Talk about the things he did do and then start picking, like we were talking about the Kieran Trippier thing. Why was Phillips playing? Why did we have 2 olders in that Scotland game?
Because, go on, Norridin.
Because he's afraid to lose.
Yes.
In terms of the way he's gone about this tournament, is that at times England would be quite naive in other tournaments. And in terms of England would get found out. And also the biggest thing as well, actually it's the naivety of England. England would go and hold, they'll win one game and everybody will get giddy. And then they get to the last 16 or, the quarters and they get knocked out. But he's gone for a pragmatic kind of thing in terms of the 2 people that are protecting the defense, because obviously Maguire is not playing and he's unsure. Mings is new to international football.
I've got to say, actually, the amount of ball that Mings saw against Scotland, it's not a ball playing centre back. The amount of times he had the ball at his feet, passing it around, his passing accuracy must have been really, really high. But I mean, that's not really his job. He never really gave the ball away, and the team are leaning on him to be a ball player.
Yeah, he's at the back, but then that's the issue is because it's not like being a club manager where you can have whatever your preferred style and preferred formation is. You can buy players for that. At international, it is literally you get what you are given. England's attack is in terms of the options is miles better than it is defensively. So to me, the common sense thing is to do is utilize the attack. If England was strong defensively and you're pragmatic, I get it. Like how Portugal set up in the last Euros with that team, that makes sense. 100%, it makes sense. Thank you very much, Sophie. You out of breath? Them stairs kill you, yeah?
Thank you.
There we go. Thanks, much appreciated. But yeah, as we were saying, so like Portugal with the last Euros, they were stronger defensively than they were going forward. They just had Ronaldo. The manager utilized that. Utilize what you have. How you can look at that England squad and go, I've got Sancho, Grealish, Sterling, Foden, Mount, Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and play pragmatic to me is crazy. Because I don't. It's wild.
But it takes
Rashford as well. Like there's so many that I'm forgetting out. There's no Rashford. Ings isn't in the squad. Greenwood isn't in the squad. There's so many options you have.
Yeah,
utilize it. Find the system.
But it's not attack against attack, is it? It's mainly your defenses. You know, you have to have 11 players. And to be fair to Southgate, I mean, I'm not trying to defend him, but I can see the reasons why. I mean, I think he should be a bit more. England should play with a bit more fluidity, especially with the midfield. I think against Scotland, you didn't need two holding guys. You know, you could have done with Phillips because Phillips is a better passer on the ball.
Yeah,
he's a better passer on the ball, so Phillips could have played. But I do think he's looking at the people who have won this tournament before. They've been very pragmatic teams, other than the Spanish team that smashed Italy in the final.
Yeah,
you know, Portugal were very pragmatic, very defensive. I mean, Portugal didn't even win a game.
They didn't.
I think in the group stages,
they won one game in 90 minutes in the whole time. But the difference is they were strong defensively, and they had that X factor going forward.
So basically, he's tried to overcompensate with the defense, especially if Maguire was fit. I think I would have said, okay, this is too pragmatic. You cannot play two holding guys. But I think he's protecting Mings and Stones and he's protecting them, and they're the reason why. And you know what? That's why in my channel, United Real Therapy.
Make sure you subscribe to his channel.
People were coining and saying, you know what? He's bubble wrap FC, he's bubble wrapping two centre halves, and it's Ollie gone off Southgate.
He is Ollie in a waistcoat. He is Ollie in a waistcoat. 100%.
Big up to the therapy army, man.
He is Ollie in a waistcoat.
Going back to your point as a club manager, if you like, it's quite simple ways you can look at the way a game's going to go, right? You could be the better team that's trying to beat a team that's inferior.
Yes.
You could be evenly matched teams. You could be the inferior team trying to get something out of a better team.
100%.
Yeah. So in terms of the players you can utilise, that's going to dictate your starting lineup, how you're going to play, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The game against Croatia, everyone looked at that starting lineup and went, oh, not sure about that. Where's Sancho, blah, 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 blah. Where's Grealish? Worked out for him.
They got the result,
He did exactly the same thing against Scotland. Same formation, changed the fullbacks, blah. Not really a changing game plan. Those fullbacks were no more attacking than the others.
Yes.
Same formation, same style of play, but you're against a team that we're expecting to turn over 2 or 3-0.
Yeah, and that's the issue is, yes, you don't change your winning team. So you didn't get away with it, but I said it on the radio. Yeah, pieces. Yeah, because I said this on the radio after the Scotland game. I mean, after the Croatia game. No, sorry. The Croatia game. I stated that if England had lost or drew that game, we would be criticizing Southgate heavily. So the fact they won, give him credit, he picked the right team. But then the second half is the issue I have with Scotland. Like, you see how they've set up. They are not trouble. Like, that's no disrespect to Dykes and Che Adams. You don't need two holding midfielders and two centre-backs and two full-backs playing defensively against Scotland. If you were playing against France and he played like that, perfect sense. A France, a Germany, a Portugal, a team with great attacking players. Be pragmatic. Don't go gung-ho with them. You have the better team. That's what made me go, why are you not scared to lose? Scared to lose.
He's United.
I mean, I'd also like to point out, I don't know how long you lads have been following England, but there is one result in every single group stage going back, as far as I can remember, where we've had a stinker. Be it a 0-0 with Algeria.
Yes.
Be it, 0-0 against Slovakia. Be it, getting beat. How many times we get beat by Romania in the group stages?
Well, to be fair, this is the only time.
Let's just
this is what I'm saying.
Let's put it into perspective. This is what we do. We flatter to deceive against the bigger Charlie, and we can't break down a crap team. Basically.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what do people? People are expecting England to come out and play like Barcelona. Prime Barcelona, because obviously you think that you got really talented young players.
Yeah.
But come on, this is the first time ever in the European Championships England first time they ever won a game, the first game. So
I get what you're saying. To me, it's not a results thing, because I don't think, however England play, whether it's attacking, whether it's pragmatic, that they can win this competition. There's a way to lose games. Like, go out and try. You have all this attacking, you have all of this attacking quality, and you are not utilizing it whatsoever. It's kind of like a boxer. having a big punch, massive KO punch, but he never throws it. He never gets in position to set it up. But that's all he has. England have players to beat Scotland, 100%. But if they would have played the attacking players, played in an attacking way, and the goalkeeper just had a worldie, you go, all right, fair enough. The goalkeeper they didn't. Stones hit the post from the corner, from the header, which he should have scored because it's a free header from your centre half. You have to score that.
You know how.
Oh yeah, you definitely bullet header, 100%. With minus that, what else did they create? That's what I'm looking at. What else did you look like? And you have all of these attacking players on the pitch.
Shattered, though, to be fair. Long Premier League season, 3 games in a week.
You got 5 subs.
Yeah.
From Croatia.
No, I'm just saying. I just think mentally the players. I think it's the build up because
it's the build up of the game.
It's the oldest international game in history, and Scotland the second time only where they ever met in a proper tournament. You know what I mean? In a tournament, and I think it's the media that gas them too much, man. And sometimes when these mans look at social media, watching, listen to podcasts, because they're football fans as well, man.
Yes.
They might be playing, they might be in it, but they're consuming hella content on them about it, and they're not gassed about it. They're just emotionally. I think the longer it stays 0-0, I look at games like that and I think, okay, so you're a team that's superior to the other team, in terms of better players. But the longer it stays, this is exactly Hungary against France. Look, France are world champions,
Yeah, France were poor.
But they missed chances. England had decent opportunities, but they couldn't even construct a chance. But France had the chances. And the longer they were missing them, Hungary's growing in confidence.
Yes,
more confidence.
Behind them as
more confidence.
Yes, they did.
More confidence. And then that's we all know about football. We watch football, we've seen it already.
Yeah.
And we know how football rolls in terms of like what happens. You get confident. Next minute, your levels go up. Average players' levels go up. Yes. And they believe out in these top professional players. Pressure. Football is between their ears, bro. The pressure. It's about who can handle the pressure and stay calm. Obviously, you need good coaching. Yeah. Obviously, you need the team to be fresh. Your manager's in-game management has got something to do with that. But to me, the biggest criticism I would say of Southgate in that game against Scotland is that you're taking Foden off. Foden is a guy that can eliminate player. You keep the guys who can eliminate players on the pitch. Like 100%, you've seen Kane. Kane was just walking around, man. It's like Bruno the other day for Portugal. Man's shattered, fatigued. You can tell, and he was exactly the same. Kane was exactly the same in the World Cup when he played against Croatia. Fatigued. And once he's fatigued, all he's shoving his big ass into people and try to get free kicks because he can't, you know what I mean? He ain't got no energy. So you should have talked about, but the idea of bringing then, you know, my biggest pet hate is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer using Rashford as a down the middle. To me, Sterling should have played down the Rashford would have gone out.
You have Calvert-Lewin on the bench.
That's what I'm saying. I'll bring him on. That's what I'm saying.
And why not play 2 up front? Because you're literally playing, and this is you're playing Scott. Like everything was like for like. Why have you got 2 holding midfielders on when you're chasing the game?
Are we all seriously in the camp where we're going to drop Kane? Are you all in the let's drop Kane?
No. To me, he just looks fatigued and freshen it up. Freshen it up. He should have bought him off a lot earlier.
I'm saying.
I would have certainly brought Sterling off before I brought Kane.
Yeah. You could have took any of the 3 of them off. What I'm saying is help the players on the pitch. Like Kane got very little service. Exactly. Sterling got very little service. And yes, should Kane, Sterling, and Foden as a front 3 have done more? Absolutely. But you have to assist these men. Like Sterling should have the left back overlapping him. The right back should. You shouldn't be sat with 2 holding midfielders. Like what is going? You got Mount solely in the 10. It's like who is going to create like when you have all of. Again, the attacking quality is like watching Manchester United. The same criticisms I label at Manchester United are the same criticisms I label at Southgate in England. It's the exact same thing about being pragmatic.
You were talking about pragmatism before. Imagine having to watch.
Did you not stay in the
season of Newcastle United?
Yeah, but you stayed in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's what our aspiration. We finished 12th, unbelievably.
There you go.
12th.
All hail Steve Bruce.
It was still a hell of an awful season.
Yes,
to sit through.
It was an awful season.
I mean, 4-5-1, 4-5-1. All season. All season. Wilson fighting wars on his own in their half. And then just Miggy and...
you must be grateful he came back, man. Him and Sebastian come back because you were down. Yeah. Without those 2, you were down.
We had 3 of them out at one point. And honestly, Fulham started pulling the socks up and I thought we were down there.
Listen,
but you talk about pragmatism.
Yeah.
Some teams have to do that. United should not be a team.
That's my point.
But our thing is to finish. Our thing is to finish 4th.
Our board thing, yes. We are.
I said this.
We are.
I said this, yeah.
In terms of our
That's the
board,
premise.
yes.
That's the people who own our club, the people who run our club. That's what they're asked about, because then sponsorship still we keep
as long as it's on that Champions League ticket.
It's the only thing that the only time when we sack managers is when they are finished outside of the Champions League.
Yeah, it is true. Salute to everyone in the comments as well. Big up Peter, shout out to Stroll, Ryan, Zane. Love to everyone who is locked in. Make sure if you're watching it live on YouTube, you get the likes up and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening in on DAB Radio, much appreciated. But we'll move on to the England. We'll do a preview of the England Czech Republic game. So we'll go to you, Dan. What team would you like to see?
Against Czech Republic?
Yeah.
With 2 games in now, we've not really got a lot to lose. I would like to see a few of the faces we haven't seen yet. I'd like to see Sancho start.
Okay.
I'd like to see Grealish start.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. You saw how Italy rotated.
Yes.
You'd
like to see that.
A problem now because they're 2 starting midfielders. Barella and Locatelli. They got rested. Who comes in?
Verratti. Verratti's a quality player.
Guy scored the goal.
Yeah.
So now they've got
an issue.
4 midfielders after 2 spots. I would like that for England because it gives Southgate an option, right? Who's hot? Who's running hot at the minute? And who's running cold? Who can I rely on? Who can I trust? And who can't? Who do I not fancy?
Yeah.
Because he's got an opportunity now. We are pretty much through. Whether we finish first or second, we're still going to get a pretty shit draw. You know what I mean? It's going to be France, Germany, or Portugal.
If England finish top of the group, they get someone from Group F. If they finish second, I believe, don't quote me on this, it might be the Spain-Sweden group. But I know it's an easier draw if England finish second on paper.
Right.
It's an easier draw. Okay, so that's why I can see a draw.
It's almost encouraged to have a little bit of a gamble. Say, it's free it, lads. Just have a swing.
Why not? That's what I want to see.
Maybe give Kane a rest if he's feeling a bit of a knock.
Well, he already said he started. He's backed his guy. He's backed his captain.
He doesn't feel that Kane's knackered. I don't think Kane's knackered.
No, I just think it's poor form.
Kane's got disheartened because every time you saw that midfielder or the fullback pick up the ball, you got to remember the camera's on looking at one side of the pitch. Kane might be trying to spin around doing a run. Yeah, and he just stopped, turn around, played it back to the fullback. Turn around, played back to the centre half. Kane's made another run, and then there's only so many times you're going to stand up front. And keep
if you look at, well, your thoughts on it, Nuruddin?
The heat map didn't show that, bro. The heat map didn't show that. The heat map showed him and Mount were right next to each other, so he's basically encroaching on Mount's space, and then Calvin Phillips and Rice were also like moving like 2 slugs, you know what I mean, together like crabs in it, like just moving together. So it wasn't, if the players weren't finding space. Kane, for me, can't play the way he plays for his club. He's got to go up the pitch. He has to be the target man. He has to be the kind of guy who could win free kicks because he can flick the ball around the corner. England players, the midfielders have to be able to play off him. He can't play and think, I'm going to play the way I play for Spurs.
He's got
and I'm going to just come into midfield. Nah, mate, you can't do that. For England, you've got to be the guy who's in the box. Because loads of times I looked at the ball's out wide. Where's Kane?
Yeah.
It's like, how are you going to score, bro? That's logic. How are you going to score?
I understand that.
You ain't bending 40 yards into top corners, mate. Sorry. You're not that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the sort of structure of a 5-man midfield, like in the City sort of frame, you've got number 9 that doesn't have to do anything apart from stay in that box.
Lead the line.
2 wide forwards. You've got 2 attacking mids in Mount and whoever, Grealish, Foden, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You've got 5 lads there that can really pretty much break a team down between the 5 of them.
This is my whole
point. As long as that guy is in that penalty area finishing it off. At least that guy.
Yeah, just that one. But that, again, that comes from the manager and intent. And when you're chasing the game and everything's like for like, it lets the players know, all right, the manager's content with the draw. And he seemed pretty content and pretty happy with the draw after it because he knows it's a result that's going to get him through. That's not criticism. Like I said, if they finish second, that is better for England. So maybe that's his game plan, is to finish second and maybe get to a quarterfinal and hope the France, Germany or Portugal, who they could get in the quarterfinals, have an off day and go out and maybe get to a semi-final similar to how they did in the last tournament.
Are you saying he's going to be happy to sit for a draw?
100% he's going to sit for a draw. And that's the smart thing to do. I would not criticize him for sitting for the draw. Wouldn't at all. Right. I wouldn't, no. Because if they play Portugal, Germany or France, I think that's it. That's all he's saying. You good? Yeah, I don't see them beating any. I don't see England beating any of those 3. I don't think they have a prayer. Like, I was going to get into that next. Germany beating Portugal. And 1, it was the best game that I'd watched in the tournament so far, and 2, Germany were incredible. Yeah, well, like Germany were very good.
No, they were
very good. We will. So let me land and then I'll let you respond. From the start of the game, they was on it, and they like for the first 10, 15 minutes. After that, they battered them. They had the goal that was Goossens had a goal that was ruled out for offside. Then Portugal hit him on a counter attack and scored. And then Portugal had 10 minutes or so where they was in charge. And then after that, Germany just took over. And it could have been more than 4. Portugal were threatening on the break, but when you have Ronaldo, Jota, Bernardo Silva, you're always going to look threatening with the ball going forward. And the most surprising thing to me was how bad Portugal were defensively, because they don't have bad defenders. So the fact that Germany did that to him that result there is a statement of intent. Like, people have been hyping up Italy, and my point on that was Italy are doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, they played well, but everyone predicted them to finish top of that group. So that's why all of a sudden they beat Turkey and they beat Switzerland, and Italy are the next best thing, and they're going to win the Euros.
Nah, they look good though.
Yeah, go on.
Were my initially.
If they were initially, that's cool.
My dark horse.
Yeah, it was initially.
But then I've actually kind of come off them a little bit now, because then you sort of look, well,
they beat Turkey and Switzerland.
Playing against Turkey went much great.
But still, though, you can only be what's in front of you.
And I give them credit for that.
And they're the only
and they've been the most impressive.
They're the only team that has beaten the teams that they need to beat. They should be on paper. They've beaten them quite comfortably every single time.
Yeah.
But I would going back to your Portugal-Germany. First of all, Portugal have not been good this tournament. They beat Hungary 3-0.
Yeah, they weren't good. It wasn't
not
a good
performance.
No.
Secondly, Germany's goals came pretty much the same way each and every time. Crosses into the box.
Yeah.
You're right in pointing out that how is a defense with Ruben Diaz and Pepe not cleaning up them balls?
How is that? That's what made it
puzzling.
Yeah, and they got Rui Patricio
coming in, getting a free header at the back post. I mean, what on earth?
That's the manager in you coming out thinking of that.
But that's someone not doing the job. Essentially,
because that Goossens had at the time of his life playing at left wing back.
Yes, there's more control in Germany's midfield. You started seeing
Cruz. When you got Goretzka,
and just doing
Kimmich.
Kimmich being that right wing back that he probably doesn't want to be, but he's absolutely amazing at doing. He wants to be in the middle of the park.
He's just Lamb reincarnated. It's crazy. He's literally, like on Scooby Doo when they pull down the mask, and there's another person. He is Lamb. Like, literally can play right back, play left back, either wing back, either side, centre mid, and centre mid. And anywhere he plays his quality. I'm like, you are Lamb. Like, literally. Like, did he train you? Like, you're even the same stature. You play very similar as well. So that's the crazy part to it. But yeah, I thought that was like, it was a proper performance. It was a result of intent to beat Portugal.
I'm going to go one further, I thought that was a total football. I've never seen Germany play like that. Well, since the 2014 World Cup.
Okay.
The level of intensity, the way they hustled tactically out absolutely smarted Germany and the coaching. Because when I watched, I didn't give Germany hope. You see my preview, innit? I didn't give them a hope. I've had to apologize. I've had to swallow my words and apologize.
They were my second favourites, but
you know what? I said I didn't think Germany, because I think him going back to Muller and the centre half, Hummels. I thought, you know what? These youngsters have played without them for so long, right? So to try to bring them back in before, like just a tournament, just in time for the tournament, was a bit too disruptive, and I didn't think they were going to gel. But against the better team, Germany was Germany. It's a better team. They lost to an old goal, and that happens. And obviously, France are a very dangerous team. Especially
France do that to anybody. Everyone was like, Germany were ordinary. France can do that to anybody.
And not even that, but France
sucked the oxygen out of that game a little bit.
Because there was
very well.
The ultra defender, and they can just hit you on the counter. That's what won them the World Cup. People forget. People think that France were playing some scintillating football. No, they weren't. Germany, for me, played the best football I've seen in this tournament. They've been, because I'm talking about in Italy. The reasons why, because when they lose the ball, it's the way the team, they punt in packs and press. And I thought they absolutely stifled Portugal. Portugal became kind of like it was like Man City playing someone like Fulham or Stoke. That's what it made them look like. That's facts. That's fact. If you watch that game again, that's what it was. And I'm sorry to say, but that's how Man City score. Man City score with the balls low on the ground and some of the balls high. And De Bruyne, and the way their techniques, where they wake it out wide and full and win back to win back, teeing each other up. That's how they've done it. That's how they've done it. So at the end of the day, you can only beat what's in front of you. Portugal, they're the European champions, mate. Yeah, they're the defending champions. And at the end of the day,
go on.
The Portuguese manager, is a bit confused because now in the Euros 5 years ago, in the Euros, he had a system of play where Ronaldo was the main guy. They were playing on a counter, and they were playing in a certain way where Ronaldo and one or two like attackers, but everybody else had to work around Ronaldo. Right?
Their job.
Now you got Bruno.
Yes.
You've got Silva.
Yes.
You've got Silva. You've
Renato
got
Sanchez.
yeah.
I think he's been very good in the tournament.
Playing on the bench. I'm talking about the guys who started.
Yeah.
So you got
Jean.
Bruno, Jota, and Silva.
Yeah.
Ronaldo. So he's like, okay, and then that's why he's putting that Pereira and who else? Chevalier
and Carvalho as well.
Carvalho. Those two, Chevalier, Carvalho.
Yeah.
Those two guys are like, they're like. Imagine Bruno playing, you play with McFred, right? And then you go to go international club, and then you're playing with two guys who wears the McFred. Like two slugs that can't really move, like cannot move and move together. But in this one, for me, what was staggering was that how the Portuguese manager didn't change, because it's not like that was the first time they were doing it. Like not the second, the first time they were getting him out with the wing backs and putting the ball to each other, and basically overloading one side, then switching the play quickly to the other side.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what are you doing? Because those two fullbacks, those two holders are supposed to go with the wing backs. One of them or either side. When one of them, they're supposed to go and double up with the fullback and help the fullback out. But they weren't doing that, because in the way they stifled the play, where they squeezed the pitch. That's the reason why I'm rating Germany, because the way they squeezed the play, they're coming with Hummels. One of the slow center. I mean, the other day he put the burners on him.
Yeah, he put the burners on to keep up with Mbappe. It was a penalty, though.
Yeah, but because
it was a penalty.
You see man like Juan Bissaka and you see man like, you know what I mean, Tuanzebe. Silence, you know what I mean?
It was a penalty, but
you know
he did well to even be in the position to get into the tackle. Was exceptional, because Mbappe passed him like he was on a 200-meter on the bend of an athletic strap.
10 yards head start, see in a bit, right?
Him. Woo, it was a penalty though.
It was a Formula 1 in it, but at the end of the day, the tires in it, he put a stop to those tires in it. Puncture them before they can get going in and get the home straight. But the mad thing for me is that the manager didn't see, and their coaching staff didn't see the reasons why Germany. But it's the way they strangled the ball. They strangled the ball, and Hummels and the other man are pushing. Rudiger are pushing. I see Rudiger against France, 40 yards from the French goal. Like, just literally. Yeah. I know that France are thinking, okay, this is a tactic. We're going to give them the ball. But Pogba gets the ball one time. Next minute, Mbappe's on his bike. See you later, right? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it didn't happen. So, to me, I said this. I mean, we're the same age, right? We're similar. We're the same age, exactly the same age. And if you would have said to me 20 years ago that Germany and Italy are playing possession football, pressing football, literally dominating football games and spanking teams and teaching them, teaching people, like just schooling them, right? Me and him would have been like, our heads would have exploded, because when we were growing up, the football we're used to from Italy and Germany is pragmatic FC, mate. Literally, like, just goal up. Everybody defends, works hard, fights. Next minute they win. That's how they won tournaments. That's how Italy. Listen, that's how they've been. And now, the two cultured, so what we're talking about now, cultured teams like for example, like Portugal. And now this is Portugal are always known to play football and to be cultured. Now they're playing pragmatic football. The French always to have flair. Now they're playing pragmatic football. So I'm just like, wow, the footballing world is gone upside down. Literally, it's gone upside down, because the teams that traditionally you will never, and that's why I'm bigging up Italy. I'm like,
it's something different.
Yeah, no, it's not even different. It's total new philosophy of playing. Like Germany, they changed that about 16 years, 17 years ago, right? It was Klinsmann. It was one of the technical people who was working with the youth teams. They literally said, we can't play this long ball, because that's what they were, long ball, physical, can defend. They go one goal and they'll defend all day. They literally said, you know what, we need to play football. We need to play football. And they proved it by 2014. Going to Brazil and teaching Brazil, playing like Brazil. Yeah, so that's what it. They're carrying on now. They're carrying on, and I see Germany now. It's the stifling of the ball, the way they in the intensity, whatever. And I didn't expect that. I thought they were going to be passive like they were in 2000. You know what I mean? In the World Cup, like in 2018 World Cup, and they were going to get headed out. Son and them people did a job on them, didn't they? South Korea did a job on them.
Wow. No, I 100% get what you're saying there, but it was the key word you said there was dominant, and that's what I picked Germany to win that game, because I think they'll finish second in that group. I think all three teams will get through from that group, but I didn't expect that type of dominance. I thought Portugal had too much, but the fact they were 4-2 and it was a worthy winning 4-2, which it was. It wasn't like it was 4-2, but it was an equal game. They were dominant. It's not like Portugal were that bad. Like, yes, defensively they should have done better, but that's credit to Germany as well.
It read to me that Germany-Portugal game was a bit of a backfiring in tactics. I thought Portugal were geared up for the counter-attack. They were almost allowing Germany to come on.
Yes, I think that was the tactic. I agree. Yes.
Because if you look at the way that I think Ronaldo's goal.
14 seconds from box to box.
Clears the header.
He's from a different planet.
The other end 15 seconds later. That was what I think they went out there to do all day.
Yeah.
That is exactly what, because I thought, as you rightly pointed out, they were slow and sluggish against France. They weren't moving that ball, popping that ball about. They weren't turning the ball over fast enough. So I thought Portugal were expecting that again.
Yeah.
More fool them, because obviously no one saw Germany come out after
and do that.
I mean, I'm not sure Jogi Löw's capable of rollicking a bunch of players. He doesn't strike me as the sort, but they came out like they had a firework.
You know what it was? They played for the tournament after the loss to France.
Yeah.
Then they came out with that, because if they lose that game, not only does it put them, they probably can't finish in the top 2. It also puts them in jeopardy of going out of the whole tournament. And they came out like that, like, we have to win this game because our tournament relies on it.
My
and it
point
was.
is, I think it's players like your Hummels and like your Thomas Mullers that actually, behind the manager's back. So to gather around, lads, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, and we're going to put it on.
We're going to go hard and we're going to go faster. We're going to keep moving that ball. Because I don't know about you, I love Thomas Muller as a player because he looks like he should not be a professional footballer. He's not a graceful player.
Yeah.
But my God,
he's effective.
What he's doing. He knows where everyone else should be. He just finds himself in really ridiculous spots.
Effective.
In loads of space. The touches in the box are absolutely genius. I mean, it might look like he's sort of bringing something down from the moon with his ankle. But it's perfect touch for Lewandowski, who smashes it in the corner every time.
No,
I've got a lot of respect for Thomas Muller and his football brain.
Ridiculously
I think it's
good.
him and Hummels themselves, like I was talking about player management on the pitch.
Yeah.
They were sort of dictating the tempo, like more than Lowe, because I think Lowe's checks out personally.
Because he's done from this tournament. He's leaving.
He's already said he's leaving. He's
leaving.
Okay, that's a bit of a strange
They've
one.
already got the line.
Is it Flick?
In the stadium watching him.
Is it Flick? Of course.
Sat there watching him, just like.
I mean, they were friends anyway. The man's used to do the nasty things when they're touching themselves up and then smelling themselves.
Let's not talk about Mr. Scratch and Sniff. Yeah, that's crazy. And that.
They were doing that.
I don't know why.
People like, why is he here? Like putting pressure. Like, yo, that's his boy. Like, stop that. The man needs to dress the same t-shirts. Honestly, like it was madness. Yo, it was madness, bro. Absolute madness.
Crazy, but yeah, not really. But obviously, we will be doing Belgium versus Finland. We will give you live commentary of the first half of that. But before we even get, that's 20 minutes. Well, just under 20 minutes away from kickoff. So, Noreen, has it changed? Like who you had? Give me your 2 to 3 favorites for the tournament, and who were your dark horses and why? And has that changed currently?
With that result, like I said, I've just picked up the Germans. The 2 teams for me, Germany, Italy, because it's the way they're strangling the ball.
France.
It's the way they're strangling the ball. Obviously, I expect France because they've got brilliant players in it that can change the game in any second. So it'll be like a, it'll be like a flicking a coin in it, when they come up against those kind of teams, yeah. But when I look at them both, for me, it's because the way they strangle the ball, bro. It's the level of intensity. I'm looking at tournament. I'm thinking, who's got the intensity after the mad season the world of football, the whole world has had?
Yes.
Who's got that tenacity? Who's got that grit? And 2 teams who basically are known like to be there, to be jammy, because they just turn up in tournaments. They have absolutely no right to win. Like 1982, I was 1 year old, but I watched that tournament back. Italy, Brazil were the best team, like licking everybody right there. But Italy play with that intensity, defensiveness, and they got that mentality. So the mentality now matching their football philosophies change. Both of them are like day and night in terms of their philosophy in football, in terms of like, they were both pragmatic teams. Yeah. And now when I look at them, I think, obviously you can't count France out. You know what I mean? You can't count them out. You can't count the French out because they're World Cup champions. And in any moment, they've got players that can turn a game in it. Football can be moments and they can just switch it up anytime. Portugal as well, you can't really think, okay, I'm going to rule them out as well because they can get to that spiritness. If he sorts out what he wants to do, because I look at the Portuguese manager, he's thinking, oh, I don't know whether I can play with 4 attacking players, right? Can I play with these 4 attacking players? But then I'm going to have 6 defensive players. So he's caught between a hard and a rock place. If he sorts that out and picks the right players who have got the energy, they can turn it on because we already see they can defend, right? Yeah. And I doubt they're going to make the same mistake as they did against Germany.
Right.
So for me, the most disappointing thing was Turkey. I tipped Turkey. Their record was amazing. They had Yilmaz, who was banging in goals, just won the league in France. And, they had other creative players. And we saw them score 1 goal yesterday, you know what I mean? And it was a brilliant goal. The man rolled it, bro. The man absolutely rolled it. I thought people just did that in training. He rolled the ball, stopped them, bent it, like, you know what I mean? I was just like, where was this? Because that's the thing we've been, you know what I mean? You're undefeated.
Really
You've been, you're undefeated. You're undefeated. And then that young kid that come on that played, he had a duel with the Swiss keeper, like 3 saves, 3 key saves. Any other day, they win that game. 3, you know what I mean? 3-3 or 3. That's what that game is, because their keeper, the Swiss keeper, made 3 fantastic saves against that young kid. I'm like, so where have you been hiding these young players? And it's purely because of their manager. Purely because of their manager with the negative tactics. He went with negative tactics against Italy. Italy rolled them over. And then the next game is recovery, and mentally they're drained because they're like, oh, we can't lose. And they put pressure, and then Wales battered them. You know what I mean? So... But they're the teams. I'm hoping England can come good. I'm hoping that England can turn it on tomorrow, because we've got the players. But can the coaching? Can the players?
Southgate, no.
Listen, can they come together? Can the teams come together?
Southgate is not sending them out there with any attacking
and do it.
And you know it.
Yeah.
And you have this discussion all the time with Manchester United. Just replace Southgate with Oli, and in that sentence, and Manchester United with
Well, at
England
least you know what? At least Southgate is up once. So at least Southgate makes substitutions, bro. It might not be the right ones.
Yeah.
Bring a man like Foden off, but maybe they can turn it up. And I'm guessing, who else am I forgetting? So we talk Italy, Germany.
Over the Europa League final yet?
Yeah.
What Europa League final?
No,
Europa
no, I'm gonna admit we got beat by a village. 50,000 population,
hey,
man.
No, this is a Euro show. This is a Euro show.
Yo, bro, it is what it is. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them, Genuinely, I was really happy for that. I wasn't that angry, bro, because I knew what was coming. I
wasn't shocked. Coming. When people are like, when people were like, oh, I'm not Oli out, or is this what this is what it's been like the whole season. Yeah. This is nothing. I wasn't sat there watching that game going, I'm shocked by this. I was cool, calm, and collected watching.
It's madness.
I was cool, calm, and collected because I know what he is going.
Turkey central defense, getting it back to the Euro. Central defense, Suyuncu,
go on.
Player for Leicester, where he needs a Johnny Evans next to him. Kabak, really promising centre half.
Yeah.
Liverpool at Schalke needs an old head next to him.
Senior.
Demiral was meant to be that old experienced head, the guy from Juventus.
Yeah.
OG first game, and he's gone. Fullbacks weren't right. I don't think the midfield.
He just picked negative, very negative.
It didn't look like they wanted to get into the opposing half. Just wanted to look after.
They were gassed out after 40 minutes against Italy. He had to take substitution.
I tipped him, like I said, I tipped him to go pretty far. Turkey.
Man, like, okay, plays for West Brom. Like, okay, are you okay? He's not okay. Okay, he's not okay. Okay, he's not okay, mate.
He's not. But yeah, same to you, Daddy. Who was like before your tournaments your favorites? Any dark horses? You 2 to 3 favorites?
I thought Italy were going to do something because obviously they didn't qualify for 2018.
Yeah,
so they were always going to have that sort of snapback. The run coming into the tournament, although it was against
Minnows. I was having this.
Yeah, it's third-rate teams. Still didn't concede a goal. Beat everyone, like you keep saying before. Beat what's in front
of you. Yes, 100%. 1 second.
Flawless.
Go on.
I've been actually quite impressed with the Czech Republic. I know they're not the sort of sexy, glamorous football or anything like that, but they have those West Ham boys, Souček and Soufal. They've got some real grit there that know a trick or two, if you like, about the sort of Premier League players. But I've always Schick has been a striker that's sort of flattered to deceive. Sort of followed his career coming through, and then he's at Roma all of a sudden after Sampdoria, he's scoring sort of 1 in 3, 1 in 2. Gets a move to Germany. He's like, well, it looks like a decent player.
Yeah.
Looks like he's been a bit of a flop, but the performance against Scotland is the type of performance we need from Harry Kane against a team like Croatia. Or, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Leading from the line, winning corners when there's nothing there, winning free kicks when there's still done put front.
Yeah.
Schick's really impressed me. They've also got another young lad on the bench called Klozek, young striker from Slavia Prague. I'm not saying he's going to do this tournament, but I think he's going to be one for the future that I think they're going to be looking for. So, I think Czech Republic.
They're definitely on the way back.
They're definitely on the way back. I think they've got a couple of knockout rounds in them. I think I'll see them in the quarters.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Look at his confidence after that goal. Goal of the tournament done already after the second game.
Great header. The first goal was a great header. You know, I love a good header.
That's typical.
When you're running away from goal, still getting that power on into the corner. Absolutely sick goal.
You can
forgive the pun.
You can tell he was when he was coaching you back in the day. He's like, get that
trying to get into the ball. Honestly,
eyes closed, like Rashford.
That's not my what's it called? That is not my forte.
Scared of the ball.
Yeah, he's ducking his halfway around the corner, mate. He's taking his kit off and getting in the car
behind the shed.
Man's like, my forte. Get a ball on the ground and that. You know what I'm saying? None of this long ball stuff. Let's get a ball on the ground. You know what I'm saying? None of this running in behind business. Pass it into my feet.
Flawless, man.
Pass it into my feet. You know what I'm saying?
Headman's going behind the shed.
Yeah.
Put it into my
flawless
feet.
Maybe on a five-a-side pitch where it's not overhead.
Yeah, see, that's my forte. Fivers. Give me a five-a-side pitch. Play the ball on the ground in it. You talking about pressing football and that type of thing and having it on the ground and playing and dominant. None of this in the air stuff. No.
I wouldn't really say you're a presser.
No, that's not me. Really I let the people initiate. I'm the backup presser. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to initiate a press.
System.
I'm a 6. I'm the support system. That's it. I'm the support system. I'm not supposed to be the 6. I'm the support system. I'm not supposed to be the 6.
Just there for the good times, health and well-being.
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm there to back up the 2 midfielders in front of me or whoever it is, or if I'm playing in a double pivot. But yeah,
it's really good. If you're getting under pressure yourself, he's really good at flying a ball at like chest height or knee height or something like that and just kill it with his size 12s.
There we go.
Kill that ball.
There we go, man.
Touch you get a bit of pressure from a winger and fullback. You want to whip that. You want to get rid of it. He's the guys away.
See, there we go,
people.
people.
I'm talking about.
But yeah, we're moving on to obviously Belgium versus Finland, which will kick off in 10 minutes, and the Belgian team is out. It's Courtois in goal. They've gone with a 3-4-2-1. You've got Vermaelen, Denea, Boyata as your back three. Wing backs is saying here, Chadley and Trossard. Witsel and De Bruyne playing in the 2 in midfield. Then they've got Eden Hazard, Doku and Lukaku up top. We'll go to you, Nuruddin. Thoughts on that Belgian lineup?
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking forward to see Doku. I'm looking forward to see that. Yeah, that team. Yeah, De Bruyne. Obviously, they missed him, didn't they? Obviously, because he got injured in that Champions League final. He's still a bit concussed. He's still got that. He looks a bit jaded still from that, isn't it? That was a man like Rudiger in there doing a job on him, innit? You know, man, Tuchel in it telling him, Rudiger, do a job, get that guy out, we'll win it, mate. If you want to win the Champions League, get Kevin on the bench. And Kevin was in tears, bro. So Kevin's recovering from that, and Kevin is basically come back. And the other day they were struggling. They were struggling against Denmark.
Yes.
Kevin comes on, and it's good night Vienna, mate. It's simple.
He made the world a difference. In that game.
Eden Hazard is starting, so the young Hazard is not starting. His brother's been on a better form, and Hazard don't look like the same player. He looks like he's not fit. He just exactly. He just looks like a tree trunk, man. You know what I mean? Tree trunk.
He did make a difference when he came on, though. He did make a difference when he came on. Like 100%.
Yeah, a little bit on the ball. But in terms of him, my guy going for it. Nah, he ain't going for anything, bro.
Yeah. You're gonna get an hour out of him, so there's a bit of a tuner for the knockout round.
Yeah, 100%. Because he was involved in De Bruyne's goal, which I thought was a very good goal.
He's put Vertonghen,
Vermaelen, Denea.
Vermaelen's there, but where's Vertonghen all the way around?
Everybody's rating him.
Vertonghen's on the bench, Tillemans is on, but they are through in this group. So that's probably what it is. Because if you look at, let me have a look at the group.
Get some minutes in Kevin De Bruyne.
Let me get some minutes in. Like minutes De Bruyne, Hazard, who was involved in the goal, De Bruyne's goal against Denmark, which is a very good goal. I think Kasper Schmeichel should have done better.
The 1-2 between the Hazard brothers was
very
lovely,
nice.
Wasn't it?
Very, very nice.
It was a special moment.
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was a special moment.
And I think
but for me, I think Belgium, mainly because of the defense. I see other teams that can get at them. If you let Germany loose on Belgium, good night Belgium, mate.
All they'll need is one flaw. As Germany proved against Portugal, all you need is one flaw, and they'll exploit it time and time again.
Mainly, their flaw is their centre halves. I'm sorry, but they're done. They're out of here, man. Out of here.
Well, good night, Vienna.
City centre halves, isn't it? Boyata and
it is, mate. It's early night.
Yeah, they're not. Their centre halves.
It's simmer frame time, man. It's early night.
I can't believe Vermaelen's still around. I
thought he'd retired ages
ago. Vermaelen's still about.
Well, I remember Arsenal waving him off to Barcelona for like £8 million. Like, thank you very much.
Yeah, current team. He's at. I don't even know that team. Who would?
Oh, they're Japan, aren't they? Is that not where?
Japanese.
Yeah, is that not where Iniesta is?
Is it? I did not know that. How is he still getting in the Belgian squad? Is there no young Belgian centre half that he's playing in Japan? And
Man's
he's
a
still getting
leader.
in the squad.
Man's a leader, mate. Man's a good talker, innit?
He's
Man's
a good talker. I keep hearing this
to
about.
be fair, he was decent, you know. I thought he left the Premier League too early.
You know
he
what?
played for Arsenal,
He
didn't
played for Arsenal.
he went to
and-
Barcelona, though,
and-
so,
yeah.
you know, it's not as if he left,
he got-
the Premier League to go downhill.
Yeah,
do you know what I
he
mean?
got Arsenal. That's what happened to Arsenal. But everyone says that people leave the Premier League and go, "This player's improved," and then you see him like people are telling me, "Oh, Lukaku's improved." I watched him in the
Exactly.
first. He looks exactly the same. He looks exactly the
Have you been
same.
watching him for Inter this season?
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Inter, I've not watched it.
Have you been watching him
But
for
he's
Inter
better in the
this
two, though. I've
season?
said
Oh,
this.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. he
him
is.
playing up front, like I say, he can't hold up his trousers with a belt. He's awful.
Timberland
He's back to
boots. Let's
go.
talk about him, man.
He's off. And
In that first half,
tell the story about the woman shouting at him at Old Trafford.
bro,
Tell the story, Norris.
bro.
Tell the story of what happened because you tell it so well. What happened at Old Trafford with the old woman? Let the people know.
She was just like, what are you playing? It's literally, in
Yeah.
no other words, she's like, are you playing against us? You're supposed to hold the ball in it, and that's why the Timberland boots thing came out, innit?
Yeah.
Man, we're picking up footballs in the Mancunian way. That's why he couldn't control them, bouncing off him. And people are like, oh, Lukaku's look at. Listen, he's trimmed up. Obviously,
Yeah, he's
United
trimmed up.
don't have the same medical because in Italy, the level of medical in Italy, basically, let's just go talk about Eriksen. Now, if Eriksen was to come back and try to play football, he won't be able to play in Italy. You know why? Because my guy has had a cardiac arrest. You can't play in Italy because Italy, they measure everything. You get everything about you. Like, they literally treat you as like they're going to check everything because anything can give you an edge on that football pitch. You can. Lukaku goes there. They look at him and think, you're overweight. You shouldn't be in this way. So they absolutely streamline him. They find out that he's allergic to certain things.
I didn't know that.
And that's what they did. And all of a sudden,
Diet, wasn't it?
the man
Yeah.
trimmed up, obviously moving faster. It's slower league. Mama's banging 30 goals, they win the league. Happy for him, absolute joyous for him. But don't tell me Italian medical people are good, dietitians are good, coaches are good, but they ain't gonna teach him how to do that first touch, bro. And I saw it against Denmark. That first touch is not there, bro. Man, I like Bambi, you know, Bambi on ice in it. That's what we call him. We had all the memes in it. Bambi on ice, Timberland boots.
I remember.
You know
it
what I
all.
mean?
Trust
That's
me.
what it was. So
I remember
for
watching
me,
him.
it's like Old Trafford when my guy's setting up people, like try to control a ball, and then he's literally setting up the opposition
know.
on a through ball.
Yes.
That's what to me was done. And certain players, you know what? They're good players. They're fantastic players. If the team works for them to get them a goal struggle. But United, you have to be able to do outside of that. I'll give you an example. You know, you're a Newcastle fan. Andy Cole. Andy Cole was the absolute tappy merchant in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back. He comes to United. He has to learn how to work the challenge, how to control the ball, how to hold up the ball, how to spin. All of these things, Andy Cole had to improve drastically. At United, if your game is not improving drastically,
Yes, I
see
agree.
you later, mate. Because the fan base ain't standing for that.
Nope.
You're not standing for that. And that's the big difference. So big up to Lukaku. I did say, you know what, he's going to be one of the top goal scorers.
Oh,
Because
he's my pick for
You know what? It's
for the Golden Boot. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of score. Let's.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, that's what he is. He's one of those players. But I ain't not against him. But don't try to rewrite history, people.
Yeah,
It's
that's
that
what it
same
is.
thing with Mourinho. People try to rewrite history. I'm like, oh, don't give me
How
that
many goals
talk.
did he get for United in the end? He still got 20 plus.
He
Yeah,
scored.
yeah.
I've said this all the time. Goal scorer. Can't take that away from him. Wherever team you play him in, if you give him service, he will score goals. Doesn't matter if it's Inter Milan, Manchester United, Everton, West Brom. But that's all he gives you. Everything else, he's average to below average. I was having this debate on Sarcasm City TV.
Would you say
literally
Van
about this.
Nistelrooy was you know what I mean, was good at these things? Because he
Van-
just reminded
no,
me as a
but my whole-
Van Nistelrooy can hold up
Van
the ball.
Nistelrooy,
Really?
technically,
Yeah,
technically
man,
he was better than
technically.
Lukaku. But
Van Nistelrooy to chest, to feet.
Yeah.
He used to lay it off and then go in. Like,
and another
Van
thing about
Nistelrooy
Van
was
Nistelrooy
different.
as well. As soon as he
Different.
left, we had one of our most successful periods.
yeah.
Because-
And because he's too selfish, because all the team played to him. You look at what
That's
Rooney
what it
says.
was.
Rooney basically said Van Nistelrooy was too selfish because everything had to be. And the reason why he left because Ronaldo was looking down, and my guy just had a fight, try to beat Ronaldo in the training ground, and that's why he had to leave because he was like he was used to Beckham. He knew as soon as they made
Early
that 2-1
ball.
movement, boom, ball was arriving there.
And
But
Yeah, go on.
Rooney will tell you, he played because the team shared around responsibility. We became a better team,
that's
a
my
better
point.
team all round.
I say that about Van
where
Nistelrooy all the
everybody's
time.
scoring, everybody's scoring. To me, I didn't lose too many sleeps on Van Nistelrooy because I knew I was like, this team is going to be better because these guys are going to have to take the mantle, right? And then Rooney will tell you, Luis High is one of his favorite strikers he ever played with because he could play off him.
Yeah.
And he weren't about
That was
to
the thing
spin.
about Van Nistelrooy, because I was younger, I didn't really understand it. But then when you look back at it, you understand why Fergie did what he did. Van Nistelrooy, one of the best strikers I've seen at Manchester United in my lifetime. In terms
But
of
how
just
many did we win?
striker,
We
but
won
that's
one
my
league.
point. We won one league and he left, and we won 3 league titles in a row, a Champions League, because Manchester United, like you said, we're a better team.
Yeah,
we're a better team.
No, we're a better team, and also people forget that. People try to rewrite history.
Yeah,
every
100%.
time, every summer, my guy was on the move. My guy went to play for Real Madrid, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's facts. Every summer, my guy was telling, and also Fergie understood that he was too selfish. That's why in one of the cup games, I think, one of the
Did he
games.
bench him for the cup final?
No, I think he was one of them. He needed one goal. He needed one goal to be the top scorer, to be like the goal. And he was like, no, because it's not about you. It's about the team. It's not about individual trophies, bro.
No.
It's not about individual trophies. You get the individual trophies if the team's going to have trophies. You're not going to.
Yeah.
So that's why Fergie was like, yo, learn your lesson. Because he knew, because Fergie knew everything in football anyway, in terms of agents and that. His agents there talking to Real Madrid, talking to Barcelona, talking to these teams. And he wanted to go there. So that's how it was. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
That's what I try to rewrite history. And people tell me, oh, he's the great. Yeah, he was a great goal scorer. Yeah.
Fantastic goal scorer.
To me, Cantona, Hughes, even Brian McClellan, these men play for United. To me, I'll go before them.
Terrible goal scorers, every one of them.
No. They were, listen, but they weren't. They played for the team, though.
They were better for the team.
They set goals up and they worked for the team and then more of a team unit.
Yeah.
They weren't just about me.
Facts.
And that's why I never ever see that kind of striker at Man United, because it don't work.
It don't work.
It don't work.
It's not, I say this all the time. It's not the 90s no more where your striker just scores goals and that's it. No. The game has evolved. There's no top striker. You name
but we
who
never
scores
had that anyway.
goals and doesn't do more. Like if you take people talking about Harry Kane, yeah, you don't play well for England, but he scores goals and does more. Whether it's a Benzema, whether it's a Lewandowski, they don't just score goals. Lukaku just scores goals. That's it.
Mark Hughes, the reason why I support Man United.
I think you don't feel a little unfair on Lukaku's assist record as well.
No, it's good. It's good. Don't
give me no assist.
In terms of this,
I can pass the ball to you on the halfway line. You dribble past 4 man.
Or we can cross the ball in for you to hit in the
back
that's
post. What I'm saying. That type of thing. Yeah, exactly.
I totally understand.
So he's assisting as well.
It's not
just a goal scorer.
In a two. Fine, I say this all the time.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
But
he needs that little foil. He needs a Lautaro or an Alexis Sanchez alongside
even
him.
the wrong error. If it was the 4-4-2 error in the 90s, he'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah, he'd be with a little man like he has now.
Yes.
It's Inter Milan. He's going with Lautaro.
Yeah, 100%. Now in the game, we have, look at the teams that, look at the 3 last teams that have, two of the last teams that have won the Premier League. City won it this season without a number 9. Chelsea won the Champions League without a goal scorer number 9.
Liverpool won the league, Champions League without. Sometimes
what I'm saying, Liverpool won the Premier League and the Champions League in back-to-back seasons without a goal scorer number 9. The game's moved on from that.
But what does Fabinho do?
Firmino do? He drops in. He's a non-goal scoring striker. It's a joke.
It's almost like the top
what does shiny teeth do? Shiny teeth. What does shiny teeth do? Shiny teeth works for the teeth, man. He works for the teeth, but he also works his teeth. But he literally plays for the team. And to me, Mark Hughes, the reason why I support Man United. Mark Hughes can hold up the ball. Can absolutely get the ball, pass it.
Muller a player as well. Nice.
He had that nasty streak.
Yeah.
That's why I loved him. That's why I loved him. Man's calves was my legs and my 2 arms and my head put together. That's the size of my man's calves.
But the game is about to kick off. Belgium.
Look how trim he is. Look how trim he is, bro.
Ain't gonna improve that first touch, but I hear you.
But he ain't. That's what I'm saying. You know that, because you know that first touch comes like. Listen, when I play football, I knew my left foot was not as good as my right foot.
Yeah,
I was predominantly left. But I used to go in my garden or just outside on the wall, left foot, kick the ball. And every time I used to play this game with myself, I used to kick the ball, and just play a game. Every time I touched the ball with my right, I was a point down. Yeah. And then now people go,
that's how I learned.
You know what I mean? What feet are you? People can say to me, people, when I see me the way I handle the football, people are like, are you right-footed? Are you left-footed? I'm like, no, I'm right-footed, but I can play with my left.
Should have said both, Nora, in the game has kicked off. Should have said both.
Yeah,
that's what you have to say. Should have said both.
But it is what it is. But anyway, what are the predicaments in this group?
I've got a soft spot for Finland, so I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, why do you have a soft spot for Finland?
An ex-girlfriend. I went over there.
I was going to say that. I was going to say women. I was going to say, but I didn't want to see.
You don't go to Finland for no reason. She's like, where'd you fancy this summer?
Was she Finnish?
Yes, she was. Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna crossed my mind, but I thought, don't go. This is a radio show. We're on DAB radio.
But what's wrong
with
that?
Do it.
What's wrong
There's
with
nothing wrong with it. I just didn't want to go that way.
Helsinki out as a holiday
I just didn't want to go with it. I was gonna say defo.
What's the culture like, man? What's the culture? I've got friends there. I want to go. Apparently, they absolutely. This is the kid I've been looking forward to watching.
Yeah, little lad there.
Yeah, he's just that cool. Man, like that cool.
Yeah, but the dynamics of this group is basically Belgium are top, even if
the Belgium are top. So they won 2 games, innit?
Yeah, and then
they won 2 games,
and then you have.
At one point, Finland had scored from every shot on target and won every game they'd ever played in the Euros. It was just lovely.
So what was Finland's?
They beat Denmark 1-0,
and then
they got beat
by Russia. Did Russia?
Beat them 1-0.
Yeah, Russia beat them. So So have Denmark still got a chance? Are they out?
I'm looking at the table now. So Belgium currently, if both games stay 0-0, it'll be Belgium on 7 points. Russia would be on 4 points. Finland would be on 4 points, and Denmark would be on 1 point. So Denmark need to beat Russia to have any chance to get through to the next round. And then obviously it varies on this game as well. Because if Belgium beat Finland and Denmark beat Russia, then they'll be level on points with Russia. And then they'll go into third. And then it's on goal difference as well.
Cool.
So
it's not to play for. It's not
no, it's not head to head.
It's goal difference.
It's goal difference.
Yeah, goal difference comes in play.
It's goal difference.
Yeah. It'll be a very interesting game.
Hopefully this is a good game. We will be bringing you the full first half, people. Let's see what it is. De Bruyne currently on the ball. Who is Finland's main man?
Pukki at the minute.
Puki's the guy.
But it's the guy who plays with him as well. It's the guy.
Strikers doing pretty well in Germany.
He's the one that scored against Denmark. I mean, that game. Let's talk about that game.
Yeah, talk about it.
That game should never have been played. It's the way you wait for the snakes that you wait for. Disgraceful, man. Way they forced them. They gave them 3 predicaments. You either play the game tomorrow, or you play it now, or you forfeit 3-0. When my guys are just seeing their brethren just have a heart attack and die on the pitch because he died. You know what I mean? Let's get it right. He was technically dead.
Yeah.
Till they resuscitated him. You know what I mean?
Let's pick this apart though, right? You are UEFA, right? You've got a game to put on after an incredibly horrible incident like the Christian Eriksen one. You've got a game, at halftime, you've got to finish, right? Obviously, everyone's going to be distraught, but then again, everything about the continuation of this tournament hinders on this fixture being played. Otherwise, you just compromise the entire tournament.
Were they saying that he could have played it the day after?
No, not yet. The day after. But
the day after.
It's a good conversation. Keep going.
That was an option, and they said no. The players chose to play it straight again. It was an option.
You know why, though? But do you know the reason why? To me, there's some certain thing called precedent, right? These things, nobody ever thought this was going to happen. But this now is scheduled. These things have to be scheduled. When there's a massive emergency, all of that needs to be done. The man was just crying on the pitch, bro, right? Their friend, they just seen my guy's wife just running on the stairs, and it was disgraceful anyway. I know it was the UEFA. Can
I just say props to Simon Kjær for his handling of that situation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To me, he's the man. You've talked to me who's to be the player of the tournament. That he's the player of the tournament. Yeah, the goal of the tournament. And then we got the team of the tournament. Denmark had team of the tournament already for me. That captain guy, he's the player of the tournament. But what I'm trying to say to you,
offer me a solution then. You've outlined the problem. And
the solution is simple. The solution is simple.
Play it the next day.
No, the solution is simple. I'm sorry to say, but if that means the schedule has to change, right? Because people forgetting, bro, that they didn't change it. It wasn't because scheduling issues. It's because of TV. Right. Because TV and advertisers are guaranteed. When the game's on now, right? TV, the deals are done for this game, right? Yeah. If anything was to go off, the floodlights was to go, whatever, they have to get on because the TV, then UEFA have to give the money back to the TV, right? Like the Premier League, certain Premier League teams had to give, or actually the Premier League as a whole had to give money back to Sky and BT and also foreign TV companies because the Premier League didn't finish. You had to be stopped and then started again. So let me finish. Let me finish. Right. The point I'm making is that it was purely business. It wasn't about. And for me, the biggest thing about footballers, and people forget as well, right? It's capitalism. So it's TV. So there's a certain kind of like insidious relationship going on. So it's TV company, right? Putting pressure. Advertisers, TV companies, or multinational corporations, TV companies, governing body of football, right? And it's happening in all sports. It's not just it's happening in football. Where is the duty of care of the team and the footballers? So the footballers is the reason why the corporations, the TV people inside, the reason why the government is making money, right? Yeah. Everybody's making money of like the horses, yeah? Where is the duty of care? The biggest thing for me is that every tournament from now on, because it happened in the Confederation Cup and I was there live. That to me, the biggest thing is the duty and care of the players, mental health, because people think that because you don't see it, what's going on, how you mentally messed up. You think that because it's something wrong with you physically. We're all tuned into thinking, those players are traumatized, bro. So the idea of playing next day when majority of them, I'm not going to sleep at night. But other than that, because obviously they're because of COVID as well, they're in a group, they're in a bubble. So they haven't got their families. They haven't got their girlfriends, their wives.
So what do you think?
So for me personally, what they should have done, the biggest thing would have been the welfare. So it would have been, we'll get this game played. Or right there and then it would have been like, are you happy to take the 1 point each, right? Are you happy to get 1-1 or 1 point? Let's say, no, it's just a 0-0. Are you happy to take the point? I'm telling you now, both Finland and Belgium would have said, Denmark, sorry, would have said, we'll take the 1 point. And that would have been game done. If their scheduling was so much that UEFA's like, the scheduling is the most important thing, because it wasn't. It was about TV money. And that's where people are not understanding. Yeah. It wasn't to do with scheduling, because you can always try to fit it in. You'll find a way. If you really want to do it, you find a way.
Yeah. Go on, Dan. Your thoughts on it. Go on.
This is interesting as well.
I agree to a point. To then turn around and say, well, the point being, how are you going to resolve this?
Yeah.
Your point was to say, right, do you want to take a point each? It's 0-0. It's half time. Do you want to abandon the game at that?
Yeah.
We'll take a point each. You're then compromising the integrity of the tournament by not playing 90 minutes. Every team's not played the same amount of minutes.
Yeah,
You've just agreed to shake hands and call it a draw on a fixture, which then might lead to a country going out of the tournament.
That is true.
But
that point might be pivotal to Finland, or it could be pivotal.
Yeah,
to
but what I'm
Denmark
saying,
qualifying.
Yeah.
So then you've got an answer to case there.
No, to me, it's no answer, because this is incredible circumstance. This is what's happened. It's not happening because you're thinking, oh, the team don't want to finish. It's because it's unprecedented. A guy was just dead on the pitch. A fellow footballer is dead on the pitch. I'm telling you now, even if they would have said to Finland, you know what? If I was the Belgian team, I would have been like, you know what? Sorry, the Danish team. I kind of want them getting mixed because we're watching Belgium. But if it was the Danish team, I would have just been, nah, we'll lose 3-0. Simple as. And I'm telling you now, the Finnish team would have been like, the Finnish FA, actually, you know what? We don't want that. We don't want to win 3-0 because of the sports. Do you know what I mean? Sportsmanship, right?
Yeah.
There's the idea of being sports. Like, for example,
they were offered that,
listen.
Weren't
they? No, listen.
What did they get offered? They got offered for the game to play that day.
Resume the game on the day.
Yeah,
an hour later,
which is ridiculous.
Beyond
me. What is beyond me?
Resume the game from half time the following day at 12 o'clock before the next game scheduled.
And what was the third option?
3-0. You lose 3-0.
Concede the fixture.
3-0.
They could have given him a couple of days.
Difficult. Who would have conceded the fixture? Would have been Denmark conceding the fixture, or Finland? Because Finland could have said, "Well, we don't want to play it either."
That's typical UEFA. Bro, they could have given it a couple of days.
And the way they came out. So let me break it down for you, bro. The UEFA statement, bro. Don't let me start it, bro, right? The UEFA statement read, both teams have agreed to restart the game. But no, they did not. You bullied them both. And that's why I went early on Twitter. Yeah, people jumping on me going, yeah, why are you making this? These bands earn money. And I'm like, I'm disgusted at those comments anyway. But like, I don't care how much your human being just died. You know how traumatic that is for people watching, people in the stadium, the people, the players are crying. They're all like getting around him, crying, right? Literally trying to get the camera away from him so that they give him a piece of dignity. And UEFA come out with a statement saying that the two teams have. No, they didn't. You gave them an ultimatum, and this is what, so they had to send them out to play. And obviously, then Eriksson is not even, he's just come back to life, and he's like, go and play, you know what I mean? Let's get going and play. He's saying that with his blessing, because he's just happy to be alive, bro. He's happy to be alive. So my guy's just chatting wherever he's chatting. But to me, nobody's got any evidence for me that it wasn't because of TV, because I know how these new people. For example, I'll give you another spot.
Go on.
Right? I talked about it on my channel. The other spot is Naomi Osaka. Tennis, yes, right? Yes. She, if you know Naomi Osaka, she's starting to rank number 2. She's one of the best young players in the world of tennis. One of the best players, full stop, young or not, right? She is kind of very introverted person. You know what I mean? You get introverts in sport, innit? Who are just like, when they get on the court, they turn it up, but they just like to keep them themselves. She came out and said she's severely like struggling with her mental health because when she plays at the French, her game's not suited mainly to clay, right? So certain players learn, right? Because you got you got basically
hard court, grass court.
Yeah, and you got the 4 championships. You got Wimbledon, you got the Australian Open, you got the
US Open,
the US Open and the French. Now 2 of them are on hard. One of them is on clay, the other one's on grass, right? So her game suits mainly hard, right? Her game, because she won the US Open, right? Yeah. So she goes. So every time she goes, and in tennis, it's a lonely thing, innit? It's you. And especially with COVID now, it's not even your entourage, it's just you, bro, right? It's you, right, basically, and your coach maybe, and then maybe the guy who's just a massage, you know what I mean? I don't even know about that, but So it's quite lonely. So you can't take your brethren with you, like most people, or your whole family with you, right? Because of COVID rules and everything. So they ask her, they always ask her all these questions. And in tennis, you have to give the same. Basically, imagine you're getting interviewed by one radio station, by one television station after the other, and they're asking you the same question. Your game's not good in this. How are you going to improve? She's like, you know what? She's like, my mental health is not being good because it was a pandemic, bro. Most people, if we're going to be honest, it's been a hell of a mad year. We don't know how the effects of this pandemic is to us, right? People are going to go, nice, yo, be a man about it. Now, listen, mental health exists, man. Stop all that toxic shit, right? Apologies. I take that back. But you know what I mean, right? Yeah. And then she said no. And then all of them, within about a day, all four, forget just the French Open. All four got around and went, nah, you're talking to the press. You are not. Right. And all of them said, you ain't playing ever in the US. You ain't never playing in Wimbledon. You ain't never going to play in Australia. You're never going to play compete in the Grand Slams. And they all came out. And I'm like, where the hell was the duty of care to go get therapists, to get psychologists maybe, to get professional help for this young woman? And people are like, but she earns money.
What's that got to do with anything? Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it.
It's dehumanizing sports people. Why again? Why do I say that, bro? Because TV companies, capitalists like with the corporations, right? And the tournament, people who are making money of the tournament, the players in Wimbledon have to be available for interview regardless. You're there for hours, bro. Sometimes hours and hours giving interviews, same questions. So to me, there's no due of care. It's all about money, and that's where they go. And the UEFA, for me, show themselves to what they were, and that's why the Danish manager and the Danish team came out and said at the end, we should not have played that. Because they were just in the adrenaline, and they were like, "We should not." Yeah,
maybe they should have.
To me, you know, that for me, they should have pulled that.
Yeah, just to the forfeit.
If I was the part of the Danish FA, I would have pulled out, mate. See you later, showing you over what
is there overhit cross from De Bruyne? Is there is there a ruling on that? Is there anything in that? So there's no ruling.
But this is what I'm saying to you. You know,
so for a serious injury, there's nothing.
But you know what the ruling is? What the ruling is, bro? Yeah. Ruling is show must go on. Money. It's money, bro.
Go on, Dan.
Just to wind this back in. First of all, the idea that it's TV money that's stopping this game from being rearranged is kind of a bit weird to me, because it means that they're still going to get the same products in terms of their advertisement payment. Whether it happens in the same day, an hour later, or if it happens the next day and the game resumes, the TV advertisements are still going to get their ad breaks. They're still going to have the little billboards around the outside of the ground and they're outside of the group. Now, don't tell me there is an evil in football and it is an awful lot of money,
100%.
Generally. But what I'm saying is, in this particular point, I mean, remember the Fabrice Mwamba incident?
Yes, I do.
Did that game continue?
I remember. Did
that game finish?
No, it didn't. He got called off.
He got abandoned.
He got abandoned. He got replayed.
He got replayed later on in the week.
Yeah.
Now, in a tournament football such as this, that is not an option. You cannot just replay the game 3 days later, because you've got different recovery times for each team competing in different groups.
But there's a way. There's a will.
Well.
There's a way.
They narrowed it down to 3 options, and Denmark chose to resume that same day.
Yeah, I don't think they were given a chance. Me personally,
they were given 3 terrible choices in a terrible situation.
And there's no good option. You know what? In a time, bro, when they're traumatized, you don't understand. It's like me now. I mean, God forbid, one of us on here now have a heart attack, and then the radio must continue, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, the show's got to continue. Like, when you're fighting for your life. For me, I will always value human life above anything else. And the biggest thing for me is about money. It is about money. Whether you like it or not, TV scheduling, advertisers, all these things, and the tournament people getting money has always come first and more than human beings. Facts. And that's what it proved to me. Maybe I'm traumatized still because from
offside anyway.
From was it 2003? Was it when he died? Martin Fifio. It was Colombia versus Colombia versus Cameroon, and he dropped. And obviously they just stretched him off, took him off. Man died.
That was in France as well. It was in Cameroon. It was in Lyon. They just literally took him off the pitch and carried on playing the game.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying to you. So for me, if they're not going to learn from this, because the show must go on, and that's how it goes.
I understand your point, but I don't necessarily think we've found a resolution. I don't think the draw that would be an ideal situation.
Yeah, it's one of them. Yes, UEFA could have handled it.
Terrible situation.
All I know is that Finland.
There's no
If that,
there's no correct way to deal with it.
No,
type
it's
of thing
not.
in terms of the
you know
game.
what?
'Cause you can't play. You
There's a
can't
way
play
to
4 or
find it,
5
bro.
days
Bro,
later.
there's a way.
You reckon?
Trust me, there would have been a way to find it because at the end of the day, it was 1/2. Yeah,
Yeah.
There would have been ways, but the biggest thing for me, and I think if the players would have been, if the approach would have been, you know what, we'll get therapists here. Well, you know what I mean, trauma, because you're going through trauma, right?
What work
We'll
are they
get-
going to be able to do until
like-
they have to play their next game, though?
Listen, for me, it would have been if the UEFA come out and says, you know what, forget
So was
about
the
it.
next game? Let me check. Go on.
Like, forget about it. Forget about this game tonight.
Mhm.
We'll find a way to reschedule because people are making it out like a tournament can't go for 2 days on incredible circumstances. Like the tournament doesn't have to end. Listen, we've been on lockdown has wreaked havoc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're telling me now it's not like people are going anywhere like global pandemic. Like that's going to be a massive changes of a plan. Sorry, I'm coming across the microphone, but like we've just seen a pandemic, so everything stopped. So the idea that this tournament goes for 2 more days or 3 more days, like to me,
So you were saying instead of pushing back, rescheduling that game, reschedule a lot of other games as well.
Yeah, but first you need to check on the players' mental health well-being, man.
And
You're not
logistical
checking.
nightmare.
You listen.
Changing the
like,
whole tournament would
listen,
be a
Listen,
logistical
for me,
nightmare. Yeah,
at
it
the
would
end
be.
of the day, you find at the end of the day, I'm telling you now, because if the floodlights was to go, if something was to happen, let's just say, for example, like terrorism thing happened, what they're going to do? Call off the whole tournament? Of course they're not. They're going to find a way to
Yeah, they will,
reschedule.
because
right?
they played.
They find a way
go
to
on.
reschedule. When some things that cannot be helped, this idea, because this is a
Because
man-made thing.
Denmark Finland happened on Saturday, the 12th of June.
Yeah.
And then Finland's next game was, I'm just scrolling down here now to find it. Finland's next game was on the 16th of June. So that's a 4-day period.
And what was the schedule like in between? Was there not 3 match
Yeah, there was
times
games there was
each
games
day
in between. So you had France, Germany, Hungary, Portugal,
That's why
Spain,
it was 12
Sweden.
o'clock the next day, so it didn't interfere with the 2
Yeah,
o'clock kickoff.
maybe I
But-
think maybe instead of giving them an option, the 2 options should have been they shouldn't have resumed that day. I think that was wrong.
No way.
There's no way they should have resumed
No
that
way.
day. The game should have been abandoned. The next day, I think the next day option was the best option. It's the next day.
Well, in that
Because
case,
you're not going to get over that in 2 days or 3 days. So
you've got
next
to
day,
respect the player's choice then, because
Yeah,
the players
yeah.
literally had that
the players,
choice.
because Christensen
Christensen
said,
Ericsson wanted them to play.
yeah, he said play up, but
But
he's going to say that.
my guy just come out of
Yeah,
like,
he's going to say that.
yeah, yeah.
My
He's not gonna
guys
say,
just come
yeah,
back
he's
to
gonna say
life.
The players on the day had just seen something traumatic. Should you take them up their word? Yeah, we want to play right now.
I-
No, they didn't want to play.
I'm
Have
taking.
you seen what they said? Have you seen what they said? Have you seen what Jackson said?
in retrospect.
Yeah, no, because that's what I'm saying
Yeah,
to you.
I'm saying
But
you
why
take-
are you putting
you
it
don't give
on
them
them?
the options.
Why are
Yeah,
you putting it
I
on
agree.
them?
I
Like,
agree.
why? Because they're going through adrenaline.
Abandoned.
They-
Yeah, the game should have
Most
been
of these men
abandoned.
are just text their families because when something, you know, the thing about life, bro, what we don't understand is that when people like something drastic like that happens, yeah, super dramatic things happen that messes with them, right? In terms of like traumatized, my guys are texting their partners, their parents, all of that, and they're just going through that. So they're not even thinking straight. But to me, it's about and the idea that the tournament can't go on for a couple of more days when we've had the year that we've had where football's been cancelled, all of life's been cancelled. It's absurd to me.
They could, I get what you're saying. If they
because
really
this-
wanted to do
yeah,
it, they could do
That's
it.
what I'm saying. to
Because,
you.
like you
There's
said,
a
with
will,
the
there's a
whole,
way.
say for instance, there was issues with in 4 or 5 of the stadiums and the lights were out.
fans that have booked
They could.
flights,
Yeah,
travel
there is fans that,
arrangements.
yeah, that
You
is
know what
true.
I mean? Like
It's not
knock-on effects
ideal.
of this.
There
could
is
be-
knock-on
You could
effects.
talk
You
about
wait for-
Baku to trips to Portugal in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
100%.
round. Whole things have to get rearranged.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's going to be an awful lot of expense of people saying, "Well, I'm not paying the extra cost.
Just
You've
pay
got to
the extra
reimburse
cost."
me."
Yeah.
Yeah, but UEFA made enough money from this. Well, why can't UEFA help
Another
out?
loose touch there from
Because it's an
Lukaku, but, you know,
emergency. Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Typical him.
Got
Typical
snuffed out by an
Lukaku.
aggressive Finnish defence.
No,
No,
he
no,
took
no.
a man out.
The reason why that
Bad
tackle,
touch.
you know why the reason that
Bad
tackles
touch,
happen?
mate.
Because of the bad touch.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about. That is Lukaku
And then-
through and through.
and then
People
what
will
he-
say, oh, the defense is on him. If that sticks to him like it should, the tackle doesn't happen.
And what does he do? He
That's him.
takes that, he wipes out a defender.
Yeah, he wipes out that's Lukaku, innit? But hey, world-class
He's-
striker in that.
He's
But we
trying to
move.
hide it. He's
I
still
just had to
trying
get that
hide it.
off. Like, we literally was doing the watch along for them when they played Russia. 12 times the ball went up to him, 10 times he lost it. From a loose touch, a tackle also, and there was no pressure
You see
whatsoever.
Pendef? Yeah, man,
Yeah,
like
but-
Pendef, different tech, bro.
But yeah,
The ball can be
kills
hit,
it.
smashed into him.
Yeah.
Left foot, right
See,
foot.
this is him at his
boom,
best,
chest.
running at people.
Yeah,
He is at his best, running at people, yeah. And as you do, give it away.
Try to
Yeah, he
play
tried
the-
to, though. It
Now,
wasn't
so
nice,
that's
but that's
decent-
unlucky.
decent,
Yeah,
it's
when he's
unlucky,
running
man.
at you, that's calm.
Yeah.
When he's spinning in, but back to goal,
That's unlucky, bro.
like we just seen just before.
That's unlucky.
And he's running at people, yeah.
For me, bro,
The
I
pass
start-
was unlucky, actually. The pass was unlucky, yeah, it was.
just to round up what I was saying about this. To me, trust me, bro.
Yeah.
After the year that we've had, after the nearly 2 years we've had with this global pandemic, the tournament being this one, and UEFA having to pay. And I don't think many fans have really travelled, other than that the French have travelled to Hungary, and a couple of hundred Wales fans have travelled to Baku. You know, Turkey's next door to Azerbaijan, because that's where they're based majority of their games, and going in row. So to me, it's just I'm just besotted. And like in 2020, mans are like, UEFA are like, yo, show must go on.
That's UEFA for
after
you,
trauma.
You know what UEFA are like,
after trauma.
You know what they're like.
Of players. Those players that day will forever stay with them.
Yeah,
Never
100%.
leave them, bro.
Here's
Never
an
leave
interesting
them.
addition. Aren't you thinking about moving the semi-final and final from Wembley if we keep our lockdown restrictions in place?
Yes, for the fight, yeah, because of the fans.
So it's quite okay for them not to piss about with the scheduling when they can't get in and when they can't get into the country to watch the final.
That's UEFA for you, though. Like, no one was shocked. And that, you know how you know the European Super League was so bad that UEFA had the moral high ground. Most people sided with them. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
because I had no.
They're charlatans, man.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of UEFA at all.
English clubs and
De
six
Bruyne,
other clubs.
De Bruyne, Cross, has he got in? No, cleared. Well done. But that's my point. Is that the Super League was so bad that they gave UEFA
look good.
They made UEFA look good. They gave UEFA the moral high ground. I'm like, that's how you know something's a bad idea when you are. I never agree with UEFA. Never ever. That's the first time.
They just show me.
With the shot.
We
know what they're like, though. We're not surprised by UEFA.
I mean, the Champions League reforms are an absolute abomination as well.
Yeah.
Absolute
That's what I'm
abomination.
telling you. Money, greed, at the heart of it. Not about players' welfare. Not about what the players are traumatized. Not about the man himself. No. Try to say, oh, go on, Ericsson. You know what? Players can play. And
that should have been taken out of their hands. I agree with that part of it. The game should have just been abandoned.
We'll come back tomorrow.
They should have said, if you want to play the game, we're doing this. The players are going to say yes. Ericsson is going to say yes. Of course he is.
Bro.
But there's no way after that, you're in
a right frame of mind.
I'm not saying 24 hours makes it that much better, but it can help.
Bro, I was traumatized.
It can help.
I didn't even watch I didn't finish the game.
It can help.
They went off and they had TV, the BBC.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The BBC put a program in, and Gary Lineker and I were like, yo, see you later. And then a couple of minutes back, I'm like, what? They're coming back and they're playing. I was like, yo, where's that remote control? But I ain't watching.
Keeper's going to grab that.
I ain't going to be part of this, man. Not my conscience. I'm not allowing my conscience to be part of this facade, man.
Well, it's crazy.
And then straight away, as soon as the press conference after the game, the Danish manager, who just looks distraught, like drained, he's like,
there's no way you can be 100% focused on what is going on after something like that.
I did sports studies, bro. I studied sports psychology. And at the elite level, bro, I'm telling you now, at the elite level, if you ain't 5%, if 5% means a lot mentally, if you're not engaged mentally on what's in front of you, in terms of elite sport, that 5% is drastic, bro. It's drastic. So you ain't never going to be focused. Yeah. To me, they were just going through the motion. Like, if you watch that game, even I watched a bit of the highlights, they were going through the motion.
Of course, you're going to be going through the motions. Like I said, that should have been taken out.
Secondary issue, the game, isn't it? You're just kind of getting it done after that point.
It's secondary. Your mind is Ericsson okay?
Yeah.
Is he going to, even though he said play on, is he still okay while we're on the pitch? Is there something else going to happen?
I mean,
you abandon it. Has to be.
How on the flip side, how long is that going to explain their performances against Belgium? And
it definitely. Obviously, the show must go on, but it definitely could happen.
Like I said to you guys,
you don't just recover from that. I think certain players can, but I'm saying on a whole, no chance, because there'll be certain players in that squad who are much closer to him than others, who would have known him much longer, might have played at club level, might have come through youth ranks, etc., played at different levels and ages for Belgium. So they're going to have different.
Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
He's their best player, bro.
Watching Belgium.
Listen, bro, he's not just like anybody, like a normal left back, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I fit in like a.
Like he's their star. He's their go-to man.
He's their man. Like he has been the best Danish player for the past decade and a half, bro. Since he was at Ajax. Since he came, I remember coming to watch Man United when Ajax played Man United years ago, almost a decade ago. That he's since he was 21. Everybody knew about him.
He's that go-to guy.
Yeah, but anyway, news to him, like the latest news from the Ericsson camp, that he's been let out and he's been fitted with a defibrillate, like fitted in with like a heart starter, heart starter, which is actually which Blind has, and Blind played this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's similar to the one Blind has, but they have to do more tests. So he's definitely not going to come back professional football in Italy, 100%, because Italy, if you have any heart thing, if you ever had a heart attack,
they won't insure you. They won't insure you at all.
No, but Italy, but also they got rules in their federation where you're not playing.
They're not
Like
having it.
they're not going to risk your life. That's not happening. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what tests are ahead of him. But it was just, you know what I mean? Because honestly, genuinely, I thought he was gone. You know what I mean? He was gone. Like because he was gone. He was gone. You know what I mean? He was gone.
The key difference here, and I think it's again something we should probably take heed of, is the fact that a defibrillator was on site, which is the difference between a one-man in the Mwamba situation having to push that guy's chest down repeatedly for over 75 minutes, and a guy regaining consciousness within 5 minutes after one zap with a defibrillator. So if anything comes out of this, it's how good and how needed defibrillators are in any sort of situation.
Let's talk about it anyway. Do you know if there's one in this building? Because if all the people that will live in this building, there has to be one at least.
I presume so.
There we go. You got to know, son. You got to know where it is.
And that's what I'm saying. It's shout out to everybody listening and watching.
Get trained.
You know what? Get trained up and make sure in your local community, wherever you're working in your workplaces, that you know DFib, because I've done loads of training, bro. I worked in a cultural arts center for the past 15 odd years, so like doing loads of training and about CPR and knowing where the DFib is super important.
You can't misuse a defibrillator either. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. If it needs to be done at all, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
No fear with using it.
The game is currently still 0-0, people, as well. Belgium on the attack. De Bruyne
is doing what De Bruyne does, whipping it in.
Good. That's a very good delivery.
Again. They always are from De Bruyne, every single one.
And that's what the Germans were doing the other night to Portugal, just putting brilliant balls in.
Yeah.
Brilliant balls in from out wide.
Yeah,
football, you know what? People try to make football complicated, yeah? No, hardly would you ever see the way defensive teams shut up now, the way shape is become, because I think shape has been massively overemphasized. So any team can get into a defensive shape and it can be hard to break down. But one thing is stay regular in football. You get the ball out wide, you put an absolute variation on that cross, and you've got people in the box. That ball is going in, mate. You ain't never going to stop that.
Did David Moyes disprove that a few years ago with that performance where United put about 86 crosses in the box?
But there was no variation.
Listen,
there was no variation.
What was the variation? What was the variation?
How many people
did in the box? One person, two people in the box. And Ashley Young is just swinging them in.
It was Valencia. He was doing the majority. I never forget that 82 crosses it was. We was counting. We was literally counting as it was going on.
But what I'm saying,
look, as a Newcastle fan, I'd be pleased if we could get into a position to cross the ball 82 times in a game.
You lot finished 12th.
Actually, Murphy was
Jacob Murphy,
that's your win back.
I like Richie. Richie's got a cracking crossing because he hits it with just absolute hatred. He just the man is an angry man, Matt Ritchie. I like him a lot.
Variation, isn't it? Richie's got variation.
That's what you need. That's what De Bruyne has very well.
They can do one that stands up, hold it up in the air. You can do the whip one.
They can do the blast. They can do the
fire
cut
across the
to
ground.
the edge of the area. One thing De Bruyne and City work on. That's why City
score so many back post goals.
It's because the back post, they just smash it in into that back post.
The 6-yard box.
Just the same goal over and over again.
And people are like, these defenses are bad. No, these defenses don't come against that in their own training. Because teams want to score the perfect layoff, have a shot. No. Football is still a basic, simple. You do the same simple things. You get position. You go over that pattern of play again and again and again. You're always gonna score, unless you're, unless you're Werner. Shout out Werner.
Oh yeah, and he's a Champions League winner. That's the craziest part about that.
To be fair to him, though, you know what I always say, it's when Andy Cole joined us. Going back to Andy Cole, obviously, because we got a Newcastle fan in here. Andy Cole, he was missing sitters when he first joined United because of the pressure.
Never missed sitters at Newcastle.
Never missed sitters at Newcastle.
He's my favorite United striker of all time. I love Andy Cole.
Really?
I love Andy Cole.
Listen, but the reason why it was because the pressure, and secondly, and secondly because he didn't work out the patterns yet. All it was, the patterns was simple. Beardsley, Lee. These guys was on the play.
Scott Sellers on the left, whipping them in.
Exactly.
Not taking it back.
You know what? That's what was happening. And then United played a different way, totally different way to Newcastle, and he had to get used to that. But what did he do? He didn't buckle under pressure. He was like, "Yo, I need to change my game."
Yep.
And then the injury he had that Neil Ruddock put on him, didn't do him any favors.
Serious.
That was ridiculous.
But that was Ruddock for you, innit? That's what that football was back in the day.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't take a little bit of
Witzel,
happiness
flick
from.
That's nice. Shot, scuffs it.
Andy Cole struggling at Newcastle when he went because I wasn't particularly pleased. He went in the first place.
So
I was laughing away with 6 million in the pocket. Les Ferdinand coming in the summer.
And then look what he did. Yeah,
But
I
actually,
love Andy
it
Cole.
wasn't
Love
Andy Cole that wanted to go, though, is it? It was Keegan that decided.
He didn't want to play against Wimbledon one game, and I think
Because he was shattered.
Yeah, well,
he said he was shattered.
Yeah, poor. Well, you don't say when you're in the changing rooms at Sellers
Oh,
Park,
what's
do you?
Fitzall there?
Is that what he did?
Yeah. He told Keegan he didn't want to play about an hour and 20 minutes before kickoff.
Fitzall is like,
Yeah, Witzel just put one in the
Just
stand.
put one
It's
in
just
the
one of those
stand.
where he'd clearly been top scorer in the Prem. He's
Yeah.
getting a bit, in the next season, he's just like, his attitude changed a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's one of the attitude change, but it's
I think I believe him,
Yeah.
because I think Andy Cole is not the type of man to become a prima donna drama.
Yeah.
I think Andy Cole is one of those footballers you knew where you stood with him, right? And
Pretty much so.
after reading his book, right?
I honestly still don't know whether I should call him Andy or Andrew.
no, he said he don't care. I watched the interview
The
with him, and
song
he was
goes,
like,
Andy
he was
Cole.
like, that's not a thing.
The ball,
And he's
scores
fronted
the
up a
goal.
few. Did he front up? I think was it Sooners when he went to
Blackburn.
yeah,
was it?
Blackburn. Yeah, he fronted him up because he did an interview with Flex. And
Yeah,
he called when they did the interview, and he was like, all right, let's just sort this out. He's like, let's
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
straight now. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what he told us.
that's- bro.
Have a straight like.
Yeah. Listen,
I think he said it to
he's
George
that
Graham
type
as
of guy.
well.
Listen,
And coaches, he's just like,
yeah,
let's have a
he's that
straight now.
type of guy.
None of this talking. You know where you stand with him.
He
yes.
has been. He's not those kind of guy to play games.
Yeah,
And I
100%.
actually genuinely, when he talking about it, he said he was absolutely shattered. He was fatigued. He said he was like, you know what? I just need a rest. I need a rest. But obviously, as a young player as well, a lot of things could be going on because my guy might be seeing the headlight. You know what I mean? The nightlife, you know what I mean? The nightlife could have been going to a gay club, you know what I mean? That's why he might be shattered as well.
Might be
To be fair on Keegan, if you had Paul Kitson on the bench, you're playing. You get on that pitch.
Yeah. But
Keegan for you, innit?
at the end of the
Mr. I
day,
love it if we beat them. I'll never forget.
yeah,
that.
at the end
I
of the day,
love
it was
that.
Newcastle
Love
that
it.
were like,
Oh, yeah, no, it's not the best for you. It's not the best thing for you.
I'll say to you, man, before if football's taught me nothing, it's how to be humble, shall we
Yes.
say? You know what I mean? No matter how big you think you are, how good you think you are, how well you think you can brag.
who are you?
There's always a leveler
Strike
somewhere
over
around
the
the
bar.
corner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beat United losing their lead or Newcastle losing theirs. I mean, I was growing up as a Newcastle fan in Manchester in '96.
Oh, yeah, you was
walking
talking,
around
you was talking
like
the
10
most.
feet tall.
Yeah.
Like this is me. This is my time. This is my time. And slowly over time.
It's great stuff. We'd love it.
Yeah, love it, wouldn't you?
Oh,
Love it.
absolutely.
I'd
Love it if we beat them.
Love it.
I love it. It's
Still
great.
would.
It's the
Still
fact
would love it
that
if we beat them.
like it stood the test of time. Like that still gets brought up to this day. Like when someone has a meltdown,
There's
somebody
an
use that picture.
anniversary. There's Kevin Keegan Day where everyone sends a tweet around with that gif.
Love it. I use that gift as soon as someone has a meltdown.
I don't know.
I use the picture or the gift as soon as. You don't think it was a meltdown?
No.
You don't think it was?
When you say something like that about
Yeah.
a man like Stuart Pearce, honestly, you go down in my estimation and everyone else's estimation as well.
I was like,
He
jeez.
knows the script, you know.
Yeah, it was because
It's
it was
always like I haven't seen that thing.
It's hilarious. Anytime someone has a meltdown, if you go in there, any famous person in football has any form of meltdown on social media, go down their mentions and you will see that quote. And you'll see the picture or you'll see the gift. Like it stood, when was that? It was 96 and we're in 2021 and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Because he
We're
was
still talking about
he
it.
was epic in it. Because Fergie done a number. Fergie just came out and said, they got an easy Sheffield. I think it was Sheffield Wednesday. I
No,
think
it's
it was.
Nottingham
Nottingham
Forest,
Forest.
and there's a couple of Newcastle players that were going to play in Stuart Pearce's testimonial.
Yeah.
And Stuart Pearce was also, I think, caretaker manager at Forest at the time. And he was saying that, Forest aren't going to give a shit.
Yeah.
Sorry. Forest aren't going to care about this fixture because they've got the testimonial with Stuart Pearce and all his mates coming down to play for us.
That's how we roll. That's how
I
we
think
roll.
was it the Leeds game? We just drawn, I think, the Leeds. Haven't we?
Yeah.
I think slightly before my time.
Just drawn with Leeds.
Yeah, you just couldn't get the points. I think out of 3-4 games, and I was like, surely not. I remember being getting going. Surely not, please, surely not United. Surely not. Can they do it? And we did do it, bro. Yeah. Middlesbrough. I'll never forget that kit. Middlesbrough kit, gigs, and the rest was history, bro.
Great history.
Rest was
it
history,
was.
Yeah. It's funny because in the northeast, like
that's a high watermark for me. That's as good as it got for me, though. Please bear in mind that that's as good as it has got for a Newcastle fan in Premier League history.
I'm telling. Listen. Have you seen
what's happened to
the last 9 years? What's happened to us in the last 9 years?
Oh well, I'd say it's nice to have had the 2021 titles already under the belt before you started hitting the skids. Do you know what I mean? Come on, lads, put it into perspective.
Oh yeah, we
He's
enjoyed
thankful it happened.
Oh yeah, I'm very thankful that happened. 100%. It ain't gonna stop me talking about and giving my view on what's going on now. But yeah, I'm thankful it happened for my entire life, literally up until 2013. United were very successful.
Blame Fergie. Blame Fergie.
It is what it is. There's more.
Fergie's ruined your life.
There's multiple people. That man could
He
never do
spoiled
that.
you rotten as a kid, and now he's taking it away.
Yeah, he gave me He gave me the greatest moments of some of the greatest moments of my
treble.
watching
That's
sport.
all I've got to say. Treble,
Doubles, fantastic play. Like I forgive him.
After that Champions League final for me,
Yeah.
I knew
Do
it
you
would
know
never
which
get
one?
better. 99.
Pick one.
To me, the treble.
Love them both.
Listen,
2011, 2011. You thought
Yeah,
that wasn't
yeah,
that
it
was
was
going
great.
to
I
get
think
any
I watched
better
that
than
with
this.
you.
Doesn't get any better
I
than
watched
this.
one of those
I
with you.
agree.
We got beat. It was 08 the one that Rooney scored in. I watched
Yeah,
with you, I
that
think.
was, Rooney scored the best goal of the lot.
By
He scored the
08.
best Barcelona goal.
See,
It was
it's fantastic.
Barcelona-esque.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is that treble for me. Man United. What defines me as a Man United supporter is that treble, mate. It's that famous commentary. They always score. They always score, and that to me, when I was like, I'm sitting there, my heart is sank. I've got all the ABU. I'm talking about ABU. ABU means anyone but Man United crew. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
He was one of the originals.
Lukaku.
Oh, no.
Originals.
I cheered. I was in bed. I was in bed with tonsillitis that day, and I still gave out a little scream when you scored it. 'Cause
Oh.
it's just an amazing football moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's one of them.
Red, blue,
historic.
black and white, whatever it is.
It was.
It's-
2 goals in the 90th
it's
minute to
definitely
win the
amazing.
Champions League. When, let's be honest, you were dog.
Yeah,
You were
we weren't good.
absolutely awful.
Listen,
Yeah, we weren't good.
Because we played our best football in the semi-final, quarter-final. We went on everywhere, and in the group stage, we went to everywhere, entertained the whole nations. We were just the entertainers. We were never.
Entertaining
We
the whole
did.
Let's go, Northern.
Love
Love that propaganda.
We were the
entertaining the whole nations.
bro. The whole of European nations. Everybody was like, "Watch Man United, bro."
And play like Barcelona.
Bro, the step over, the
Yeah.
white yo, Andy Cole, tap back.
100%.
Football, man. Nobody see this
Never.
at that time.
In life.
No English team was playing that time
Never.
before since Forest.
Never.
You know what I mean? Liverpool. People think Liverpool won all these European. Yo, it was
Yeah,
a
they
real
had Souness playing for them.
It was
Tells you what you
jamming
need to know.
1-0s, mate. 1-0s.
Souness.
Yeah? And penalty shootouts, man. Don't say that. Obviously, 2008 was a penalty shootout,
Yeah.
but a lot of it was jamming things. But saying that,
no. John Terry was supposed to slip. It was supposed
yeah, of
to
course
happen.
he was.
Same
To
way
me,
Gerrard
as
was
soon as he
supposed to
touched that
slip.
thing, you know, as soon as he
Yeah, man.
touched that Captain Ironman, I was like, he's missing this.
Yeah,
and
man,
I
he was-
said it. I said it there.
He
and I
was
said,
supposed to
he's-
slip.
I said
Same
he's
way
gonna miss
Steven
it.
Gerrard was supposed to slip. These moments
Yeah,
are supposed to happen to because you play for
Steve
Liverpool or Chelsea.
Gerrard, he fell on his.
I love it.
He
You know,
gave it to Demba
Speaking of days, there's a Demba Ba day as well. That's the best
Oh,
one.
there's a player.
And
I
obviously
love and
Newcastle,
respect.
yeah, Demba Ba.
and Papis Dembélé.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those two.
That season we finished 5th. That
Those
ridiculous
two,
goal Papi scored against
Yeah.
Was it Chelsea?
That,
Woo.
in fact, that's his
Into the
first
box.
goal in that game. Was
You know what?
absolutely
Block.
mental.
Yeah, it was the prayers. It was the prayers for me every time they scored. But that goal, Papu Cissé's goal against Chelsea for me is one of the great
It's
goals.
freakish.
in the
isn't it?
Premier
I mean,
The
I'm
way
still
he
not
hit
convinced
that.
he tried to do
No,
that.
he
He
did,
can't
he did,
envisage
trust
that. Because
Nah, bro. He's a striker, bro. Strikers try everything.
just the way
The way it
that
dipped,
way,
the way it
you
bent.
that way into
yeah.
the top corner.
100 times he tries that. 99 times he misses. But that's what I'm saying about strikers. They just try it.
Confidence.
They
It's
just
just pure
tried it.
confidence.
He
He
just
scored in his
tried it.
first game and didn't stop for his first 9 games. He scored every game for the first 9
For me,
games.
absolutely brilliant play. And Demba Ba, you know what Demba Ba did to us, innit? This is so funny. So we're talking about Cisse, yeah? Two former Newcastle strikers. Cisse scores one of the best goals in Premier League history. Then Demba Ba, in 2021, Manchester United play against Istanbul. I forgot their rest of their name. A team that me and him are older
Was
than.
it
Actually,
Baksan
we're older than.
Shahir?
I don't know why you got to bring
Istanbul,
this is
yeah.
this is Euros. You don't have to bring up these types
No,
of
no,
things.
listen to me. No, I'm bringing it up because then they score a goal and Demba Ba was like absolutely like he's running backwards, yeah. Or our whole team decides to attack.
It was just when you went forward for a corner. Every single player went forward for a corner. They cleared the ball, and Demba Ba was just.
Man United will never score. Man
Ollie's at the wheel,
will
though.
never concede a goal like that in the history
Yeah,
of Man United.
Ollie's at the wheel though, Norridin. He's the man to take us forward and win us trophies. Yeah.
I remember that. It's like, I was waiting for a defender to come and close him down. There's no defenders
No.
back.
If there was
And you got the
any
manager
time-
there watching it.
To me, I still don't know like how. To me, I still don't know how.
Ollie's at the wheel. That's
how
how.
that happened.
I've
don't
never
know
let that
how.
happen. I might not be a great manager, but I have never let that happen.
You'd be shouting at me, get on the halfway line.
You ain't gonna edit in that. You ain't gonna edit that corner in, are you?
Get on the
Get back
halfway
on the halfway line.
On the halfway line, and then I bring a couple of the quicker players in.
The biggest thing for me is like that night, everybody had a brain freeze. It's like, I mean, how can you say it's like what's the equivalent to like in terms of like pure madness where people just mess up?
Now, you know what actually happened because they played because so the corner was being taken. I think it was Wan-Bissaka was on his way back to the halfway line because he's the one who's there.
Obviously blaming Mata for taking the corner.
No. So what happened was Mata played the corner short to I think it was somebody else, and then they played it to Wan-Bissaka, and now he's engaged. And then they've got lost, and then we've lost the ball. So Wan-Bissaka's on his way back. I'm not blaming Mata for taking the short corner. Absolutely not. I fully blame the management and your defenders, like your centre halves. They're the two. I like the stadium's empty. The managers on the side of the pitch.
That could be a goal.
You don't see centre halves standing on the halfway line.
No. I'm not saying about the centre halves being on the halfway line. They're going forward, but surely as they're going forward for this corner, they're saying, right, somebody on the halfway line.
That'll have already been decided.
Well, they need to make sure they go there.
This is what our corner setup is. This is what our corner setup is.
This is what I'm saying.
Centre halves in the box, full-back stay back.
Exactly.
That's what our setup is.
I don't know where Luke Shaw is.
Every professional football team knows because it's drilled. Every day is drilled.
We ain't drilled. We are training. We are cardio and vibes. There's no drilling going on. That's what we do. We are like my brother Talk says. That's what Manchester United. That's what we do in training. Cardio and vibes because there's no patterns of play. Nothing is ever the same.
No, they do.
Depending on whatever 11 play.
To me, it's the brain freeze. It's the collective brain.
We don't play like
it's like almost some alien came with a ship and just zapped everything. You know how you get that in science fiction where somebody can clap and stop the whole motions. Yeah. It was that kind of moment for me. It's like it was science fiction kind of moment where Man United, all of them had a brain freeze, and that everything that has been drilled that they do, like they do it without thinking. They get into positions without thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's auto. When you do things so much, especially at defense, you know midfielders, you know what the guys are to stop the counter. You know how many people go up, and they all were in the box apart from Matic and Wan-Bissaka.
There you go.
It's just like wow.
So it should have been decided, but then player responsibility comes on as well. Like surely one out of an 11 players or the goalkeeper goal. There's nobody on the halfway line. Yeah. Surely somebody's got to be screaming at somebody.
Don't you go until you get relieved by another player. You
surely
don't go until you can.
And then you've got the whole coaching staff in an empty stadium watching it at the side, near the halfway line.
Pulling their hair out.
They're near the halfway. So surely you see that. You're concentrating. One of the coaching staff go. No. There's nobody on the halfway line.
Collective brain freeze.
I think it was Henderson in goal. Surely somebody out of the 30-man squad, including the players on the pitch, the subs, somebody
older than
the
club. A guy who was a striker that was older than the club.
There we go. That man finished 14th in their league season. In the Turkish league.
Yeah.
First ever points.
This season.
First ever game they've ever won. I think he's been sensational, Daku. Sensational in this game. He's been the player to watch in this game today. He's been the brightest. He's been the brightest. He's been a guy.
Finland have defended well though. Finland have defended.
He's doing the running. Eden Hazard should be
doing. Hey, no. He's in there to do Hazard's running. That's what it is. You do the running. I just get the ball. That's what I.
And he wants his goal, doesn't he?
Good save though by the keeper.
Yeah, he's unlucky.
Good save by the goalkeeper.
Everything dangerous came from him. Everything that Belgium
is 44 minutes gone
from him and De Bruyne.
There's not real much going on in the game, to be honest. That's why we're here going down.
Finland started bright, but I think Belgium have now got this by the neck. I think
it's pretty much our Belgium going to score. That's what I.
Don't expect for 1 minute Finland weren't prepared for this exact scenario. Though
they set up like England.
It's 0-0. It's going to half time. Finland will be rubbing their hands.
Set up like
England.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying to you. It's so certain teams, like in league terms, and they play in 15 minutes, so they split the game up into 15, 15, 15.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like or like 15, 15, 15. That's how it's 45 minutes, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They break it down. Yeah. Like in moments where the other team's going to have the ball and the other team's going to be, and they look at each other and go, we must have gone through this now. We must have gone through, and it's the collective talking on the pitch. We must have gone through this now. We must have gone, and we hold on.
Nice,
I think he's gone down. Ref, is the ref give it?
Unless
I've been loving the refs just waving at people. Get up, son. What you doing?
They said VAR has been very good in this tournament. We have to say
they're gonna check.
So clearly, where the problem is Hazard. Let's see. Was there a foul? Let's see.
No.
It would be soft. If that's given against you, you are absolutely going mad.
He stopped running and waiting for the impact.
Yeah. He waited.
He's waited for that impact.
He tried to initiate contact like he's playing in the NBA. Yeah.
Nah.
It's
It
one
was
of
a
those-
slight connection, but yeah, that's giving
as a
the game.
defender, that's one of those where you just have a few words bent over him while he's on the ground. Just have a few choice words. Say, you sure that was the right
Are
decision?
you all right? Have I amputated your leg?
Do we need to call you an ambulance?
Jeez.
Have I amputated your leg? You need a new leg, lad. You want to have mine?
Yeah.
Look at him, he's still wincing.
Yeah. He's trying to convince. Yeah, I don't know. He's trying to
Nah,
convince.
You're not
Far
getting
check,
it, son.
check over,
You are
I
not
think.
getting it.
Check over.
Mm.
Listen, you're too chubby. I mean, I read about him years ago. Anyway, like this kid, like the
When he was
reason.
a little.
Listen, well, yeah, when he was a little, he was the worst trainer. But it's like Tevez,
Mm.
like Tevez. People like him and Tevez. You know what? In training, they don't take it seriously. It's just because they're like,
Yeah.
how can we expect the certain footballers? Like, how can you expect to give me to
And
give my
it's
best when
halftime,
we're in
0-0,
training? Yeah?
people. It's halftime, 0-0.
When we're training, how do you expect me to give them my best? I'm saving it for the game, and that's what they do. And at Chelsea, and that's the reason why it's hard for him to recover from injuries, because at Real Madrid, everybody's like Hazard, but he's not doing the hard yards. If he goes to Italy, are you kidding me? You see what they've done with Lukaku in it? If he went to Italy this summer, you will see streamlined. Italians to get hold of you. Bro, Italians have training camps. Forget about anything else. They go away, leave family, everything to go away. And I only know this because I like the Milan team, because I love Milan when I was growing up as a kid. And they have
The Dutch players.
yeah,
Quality,
they just would just, you know what I mean? They would just
well,
take you away in a training camp. And you know what? The reason why Ancelotti left Napoli.
I was just going to bring that up. I was
Yeah.
literally just going to bring that up.
Go on,
Yeah.
to tell us.
Well, what it was, there was a few poor performances from the Napoli team. So the owner, I can't remember what the Napoli owner's name is. I don't want to hazard a guess. But he's basically said, right,
What was it?
after-
Napoli, yeah?
Napoli owner, yeah. He basically said to the players, right, that was so bad, you're not going home to your families now. You're going to the training ground and you're going to
That's his name
train.
there, Aurelio.
De Laurentiis.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lovely pronunciation, because I would
Di
have butchered that.
Laurentiis.
So he's basically insisted none of those players are going home to the families. The manager is going to make sure that these players are going to have a full week's of training before they play next week. The players go, no, we're not. We're going home to my wife and kids. Thanks. See you later. And this guy then obviously puts pressure on Ancelotti, saying, get these players in on Monday. I want them in, and I want them staying there until they're fit. And Ancelotti goes, yeah, do you know what? I'm Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Don't need to put up with this.
Yes.
And
I can walk
Ancelotti,
into a job anywhere else.
Yeah.
Literally, he could.
And he did. He went into Everton.
Yeah.
I think Insigne wasn't getting his contract renewed. I think there's a couple of players that are going to leave on a free transfer, like old school, like been there 5-6 years.
Okay.
Legacy
More the
players.
senior players.
Yeah, and they just get Mertens. I think I don't think he's renewing his contract either.
Okay.
They brought Gattuso in. I don't think he lasted about 4 or 5 months. He left at the end of the season, just gone. I think he went to
he went to Fiorentina and lasted what?
about 17 days.
Yeah.
Now he's getting linked to the Spurs.
And
We'll touch on that.
Do we need to? Do we need
let's
to?
touch on this. Yeah. Because
I think somebody's having a laugh. Honestly, genuinely, I'm not going to lie to you. I think,
he's having a laugh, Daniel.
No, listen,
No. Who's that guy that just
Fabrizio Romano has a contact at each club, yeah? And the guy who's his contact is at Tottenham got found out, right? Daniel Levy found out who the contact is, who leaks the story from Tottenham to Fabrizio. Fabrizio is the don of transfers, yeah? And he said, you know what, I found out now, right? It's 2 possible scenarios. One, that's my first one. My first suspicion is that Daniel Levy's found out and is basically tickled the guy's phone, pretending to be the guy, Fabrizio's contact at Spurs, and he's just hell of a mad going around with saying, that manager is deal's done. Here we go. And the next minute, no, it's not done. Or the other one is that somebody's hacked Fabrizio Romano's contact thing, because he's the number one guy, and people's like, the way technology is moving, do not put it beyond them. And now somebody's getting to him like he's his Tottenham contact and telling him this manager's there, that's manager's there, and they're not there. Or Tottenham are just having a laugh, thinking, you know what? How can we be in the news?
I mean, some of the players are getting
linked.
linked. Some of the managers are getting linked with couldn't be any less like Spurs.
I was
choices.
expecting you to pop up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the only one that's not been linked yet.
Only one that's not been linked. Is it 4? So it started off. Who was it? Conte wasn't even the first. Who was it?
yeah.
He was the first.
Was it not Pochettino was linked to go back
Pochettino
from Paris?
Then
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Then it was Fonseca.
No. I think it was Conte.
Oh, was it
after
Conte?
then. And I'll tell you what, Conte would never have worked at Spurs.
Never. I
Conte's
couldn't
an
understand
incredibly demanding manager.
Never understood it.
No
he was
chance.
whinging at Inter. He's left Inter
For that
because
issue.
he was, well, after being gifted all these players, Sanchez, Lukaku, bankrupting the club.
Yeah.
He said, right, well, we need to cut the wage bill by 15% and we need to generate 70 million in income. And he's like, you know what? See you later. Bye.
Yeah, of course.
And he's going to Spurs.
Don't spend anything.
Conte wins last summer because he spent 45 million euros on a midfielder from Cagliari saying, and he came to the next press conference saying, you can't win the league with Cagliari players. Can you imagine something like that going down with Daniel Levy? Yes, you've just spent 50 million quid on this centre half, but you're never going to win anything with a centre half from that club he's come from.
Simple.
It's Fonseca's an odd choice as well. I mean,
Fonseca, the man who's replacing the guy, he's been sacked, and the guy you've just sacked, he's replacing the guy.
Yeah, just going to swap.
Makes no sense.
With
Why
Roma
you swapping with Roma, a manager
What?
who, if I believe correctly, made too many subs in one match.
Yeah, literally.
So it was, like you said, Poch.
It can happen.
Then it was not at the highest level.
What a goal!
That's a quality goal
for Denmark.
That's a quality goal.
What a goal!
That's the older guy.
No, that's the young. I think it's the young kid.
Yeah, he
tried to go down.
Norwegian.
No, older guy. What's his name? He does have a name that's
similar. Yeah, what a goal! He played fantastic.
I remember he was talking about.
He played fantastic. This kid,
like at 4 or something. What was his name?
14. He's 14. Number
I can't remember his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
it's something
Denmark
along that lines.
1-0. Denmark are winning 1-0. But yeah, to me, it's like I was thinking I was gonna get the call, bro. You know what I mean?
You thought you might have.
I thought
you could have brought us in jobs for the boys as the coaching staff.
Damsgaard.
Why not? Damsgaard, I knew it was something. I knew it was something like that.
Close.
Yeah. Because we were talking about it being out something like 4. That's why. That's why I thought older guy.
He's fresh up breath there in that second game. He was one of the best
Great
players
finish.
in Belgium. They just couldn't finish their chances. I thought Denmark that first half absolutely ripped Belgium apart.
Yeah,
and they let them off the
minutes,
hook.
Especially.
They let them off the hook. They literally should have been. Denmark should have been 2-3 up.
Yeah, the energy they came out with the first 5 or 10 minutes, we were trying to blow them away, but they just couldn't sustain it. Like a boxer coming out, throwing everything he's got in the first round. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to look too good in the 8th.
100%. It's not. A big up to everyone who has tuned in to the show. Make sure whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching this back on the YouTube, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the Pi Radio YouTube. Love to you if you've been locked in via DAB radio, by more traditional radio means. And yeah, before we go, obviously we will touch on the Euros. We're going to get a winner from everyone. So we'll go to you, Nuruddin. One team. Who do you have winning it and why? One team. Obviously, Group A has come to a close. The groups are all forming.
I can tell you in the knockouts because we're still in the group.
So you're saying the knockouts, okay?
Yeah, in the knockouts. But you know what? If Germany had a striker, I would put all my house money, everything on Germany. Even though their defense is not that great, but the way they're strangling the ball, I can't go beyond. Just so far, the football that's been played, I can't go between Italy and Germany. I know you asked me for one team, but Italy, Germany, and France. Italy, Germany, and France. For me, it's those 3. The winners come out of those 3.
Come on, you could have said that before the tournament started. Italy, France, or Germany. You've got to have a decent chance there. Come on.
Not really, because Italy didn't qualify.
They're two of my picks.
Yeah,
like I said,
Italy,
they're my 2 picks. I said France. I said the winner of. I keep saying it. The winner of.
From the start, I said France. I thought France. Just that team on the paper, but I'm kind of going back on that.
Did you have a second behind?
I did have a second in Italy, but I don't really want to pick them now because everyone's going to be picking them.
You want to score against? You just want to be. You want to be different from everyone
I'm only
else.
looking at the football they play. The two teams I've been impressed with in terms of getting the ball back and strangling teams, bro, has been Italy and Germany.
I know you like that as well.
Yeah. The only thing I'd probably in those 2, I'd probably err with Germany because I don't think Italy have played the standard of opponent as Germany because they had a really tough game against France.
Yes,
and they did look like they were trying to get some. You know, what I mean, I think a draw would have been a fair result.
I think they were a better team.
I think, but
I'm saying if you're playing France,
they're playing France, then they come back. Come out play Portugal. Just like I say, I wouldn't say they tore them to bits all over the park, but they found that one flaw and they exploited it. And for me, that's an unerring sign with the Germans because when they do that, you end up with a result like they did in Brazil.
Exactly.
They're just so.
So you're saying Nuruddin, you're saying Portugal. Not Portugal, sorry. You're saying Italy, France, Germany.
I'm gonna put my neck out and I'm gonna say Italy.
France and Italy.
I'm going to go for one. I'm going to say Italy.
My soul.
I'm going to go back on France.
Okay.
I'm going to take France out of the equation.
I'm saying solely France. I'm still sticking with that. But I said France or Germany from the jump. I said the winner of the competition, I believe, comes from that group. But if it doesn't, I think it will be a Belgium.
If you have to push me, Italy. I did say that they were but Germany, to me, that in that performance, two performances have got me back on side. And the Germans, bro. I remember when Michael Ballack was just a player, they went to the 2002 World Cup final. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, they had the Miroslav Klose, didn't they?
Yeah, Miroslav.
They find a way.
That's the tip. Germans, they're just German efficiency. That's what that is. Just German efficiency. But love to everyone who has tuned into From a Third Eye View. We will be back next Monday when we're here every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. We'll be discussing all things Euros, looking ahead to the knockout rounds because the groups conclude on Wednesday. So we will be looking forward to the knockout rounds. And then that's when we can proper break it down and see who's where, etc., etc. But love to everyone who has locked in. This has been From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in.